Yes, we are live in living color. Welcome, welcome. We are live in living color for the David Benavidez and the Caleb Plant live commentary right here with me, Manager Marty. I thank you for your viewership. We are going to have a very, very good evening covering the sport of boxing. Um, right now, the fight, the preliminary, the first fight of the evening with Crowley and Ramos. They are just ending, and I believe that we're going to see Chris Colbert fighting next, and then we will start the broadcast here, commentating on that fight first, and then we'll move on to the co-main, and then, of course, the main event. I hope you all are having a good evening. I welcome all of you that is watching this live right now in real time. And I still welcome each and every one of you who may be watching the replay of this live. And so we're going to have an evening of boxing. If you have not paid for the Showtime broadcast, that's pretty good because we're going to save you a bunch of money on your car insurance this evening doing live commentary. Of course, I keep saying we. I use the word we several times thus far, and that's because we will have a special guest joining me to conduct the live commentary on all three of the fights, including the main event. And that is my guy who was on the live broadcast panel last night, a Crown Jewel Boxing. And he will be joining us relatively shortly. And so we're just waiting for the first fight to basically come to a complete end as the official judges' scorecards will be read momentarily and the official decision will be ready soon. And then once the official decision is rendered, I will jump back onto the live and we will start the commentary for our first fight that we will conduct the commentary on with Chris Colbert. And that's going to be a really intriguing matchup. Now, I want to say this now, and I probably will bring this back up later on in this live broadcast, that all of the fights, this fight that we're going to commentate on with Chris Colbert, the following fight with Joey Spencer and Ramos, and then, of course, the main event. Um, I think all the fights are going to be explosive. But one of the things that I noticed about the first fight that was just about to have the official word on, the next fight in Chris Colbert, and then the fight after that with Joey Spencer, all three of those fights are going to be Southpaw versus Orthodox. I thought that was intriguing, and that's how you know it's good matchmaking involved. So I will return to the live broadcast as soon as Chris Colbert's fight is about to go underway. Salute to everyone that's in the chat right now. Salute to everyone that's going to be commenting on this video. And just so you all will know, real quick, Cody Crowley won by a majority decision because one of the judges had it scored a draw. And so this was a gruesome fight. And I'll be right back momentarily when the next fight that's about to be broadcasted will have Chris Colbert. And so stay tuned. If you are joining this live broadcast as a part of our new audience that's still coming in, I just wanted to say this real quick. The fight between Crowley and Ramos is over. It has officially completed. Crowley won by majority decision. He will have a lot of ice to put on his face because it looked like he got two black eyes, but he did win. And I will be right back momentarily when Chris Colbert, is preparing to come to the ring so that we could, excuse me, start this live broadcast with the Chris Colbert fight. So stay tuned. Salute to everybody in the chat. And salute to all of you. And I welcome all of you viewers this evening. We're going to have a great night of commentary, starting with the Chris Colbert fight and then the Joey Spencer fight next. After that, and then, of course, the main event, David Benavidez versus Caleb Plant. And I keep using the word we simultaneously because I'm expecting our special guest who was on our live panel last night, and he was also on the live panel again, I believe 2 weeks ago, my guy, Crown Jewel Boxing. So make sure you please subscribe to his channel at your leisure, and he will be joining us momentarily. And I will come right back in a few moments when Chris Colbert is ready to come to the ring, and we're going to get this party started. Salute to everyone in the chat acknowledging me once again. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Welcome to everyone who took the time and found it not robbery to come and join me live on this broadcast as I commentate with Crown Jewel Boxing this evening. All three fights, starting with the fight that's on your screen right now between Chris Colbert and Jose Valenzuela, Valenzuela, and also Ramos against Joey Spencer, and then of course the main event between David Benavidez and Caleb Plant. So we're going to have a good evening of boxing. And um, man, quick question: while we're waiting for Chris Colbert and Jose Valenzuela uh, to prepare to come to the ring momentarily, who do y'all have winning the fight between David Benavidez and Sweet Hands Caleb Plant? We can say it now in the chat. If you're watching the replay of this live, I encourage you to say it in the comment section below. I just want to know, because when we get to that place where the fight is actually happening and it's time for us to get into it, all of our wishes will be met. Some of our desires and hopes for the fighter that we want to win or lose will be met. So I see a lot of people that are in the chat, you know, and people that I know personally that have told me that Benavidez is going to stop Caleb Plant in the later rounds. And so we shall see. That's going to be a really, really intriguing matchup. Both guys are in tip top shape. As I mentioned last night on the live broadcast um, that I published last night, I said that the weigh in was a great weigh in because both men came in tip top shape. You know, Caleb Plant, he weighed in on the official scales at 167 pounds, and David Benavidez, shockingly, weighed in at 166 pounds. I say shockingly because, you know, we basically expected him to come in on weight, of course, but I mean, just coming in um, 1 pound, you know, 1 pound under Caleb Plant. So that goes to show you that both guys are in tip top shape. This is just going to be a good fight altogether, you know. And salute to everybody in the chat once again. We're about to get this commentary underway. Chris Colbert against Jose Valenzuela. I'm probably going to address both men by their first names to identify them as I am commentating. And as you see on your screen, Chris Colbert has 16 wins, one loss, and 6 out of those 16 wins have come by knockout. And Jose Valenzuela, he has a professional record of 12 wins, one loss, and 8 out of those 12 wins have come by way of knockout. This is a 10-round lightweight bout. And we've seen what happened when Chris Colbert fought in his last fight a year ago in February of 2022. You know, we've seen how Hector Garcia knocked him down, gave him some trouble, and of course, gave him his first loss. And of course, we know that Hector Garcia is a southpaw. And now tonight, he's fighting this guy Jose, who's also a southpaw. In fact, this fight, the fight before this fight, and the fight that's after this fight will be southpaw versus orthodox. And so that goes to let you know that the matchmaking is designed a specific way for a specific reason. So Chris is in the ring, Jose is in the ring, and these guys are in tip-top shape. Definitely in tip-top shape. Chris is sporting a shirt, a tie, yellow suit jacket with a hat. You know, he has a lot of theatricals with him. He's very unique. He's a happy-go-lucky guy. I met him at the Deontay Wilder versus Robert Helenius fight a few months back in his hometown of Brooklyn, New York, when I was at the Barclays Center. He's a real down-to-earth guy. This is gonna be a good fight. You know, Jose is 23 years old. Chris is 26 years old. These guys are in the preliminary stages of the next level of their career. You know, there's different levels. You know, in boxing, in professional boxing, there's different levels. So I believe they're in that sophomore phase. So they're still in the preliminary stages of that sophomore phase. And so both fighters are about to be announced. Both fighters have something to prove. This is going to be, I believe, a very entertaining matchup. And so while these men are being announced by the classy Jimmy Lennon Jr., I'm going to take a brief pause because we're still waiting for my guy, Crown Jewel, to come and join us. All right. Just a quick sound check. Um, can everyone hear me clearly? I just want to make sure that everyone can hear me as clearly as possible because we're about to get this thing on. Can someone in the chat just say yes or no? Can you all hear me clearly? Yes or no in the chat. Can I get one person to just confirm whether you all can hear me or not so that I can make my proper adjustments as we are about to get this fight underway? All right. Salute to everybody in the chat too. Round one underway. Here we go. Okay, so Chris just switched up. Now he's switching back to orthodox. He came out southpaw stance and he switched back to orthodox. And he looks like he's starting real fast, trying to land a right hand. Oh, wait a minute. Big left hand by Jose, and down goes Chris. Chris just went down And he's back up. He beat the count here live in the first round with 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining. And Chris is still in the orthodox stance. Jose lands that left hook again. Right on the button. Chris backs up. He got his hands in the earmuff position. And I need him to move his head. He's stepping back twice. And usually in the sport of boxing, when you take 2 steps back, you get cracked. And so he needs to just hold. He's on the ropes. And his legs is not with him as he missed the left hook. And Jose got Chris on the ropes. And I'm telling you, man, Chris Colbert, he got a lot of heart, but I'm going to tell you something. He is going to have to move his head and stop stepping back twice, take a half a step back, and then step to the side before he lands his own right hand. And Jose backs off a little bit with 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining in the first round. And Jose lands 2 left hooks that caught the attention of Chris. Chris on the ropes. And I'm telling you, man, that left hook that this kid, Jose, landed, hit Chris right on the button. And Chris looks like he just don't have his legs there with 55 seconds remaining in the first round. He's definitely going to have to, you know, move his head and stop trying to fight fire with fire. And we've seen him do the same thing with Hector Garcia in his last fight after he got hurt. Instead of just calming down, trying to take those short steps and use lateral movement. Good right jab by Jose. Jose lands another jab. Left straight to the body, left hook to the body, and then to the head by Jose. Chris is starting to hold, but the way he's holding is not acceptable to the referee. They're back in the center of the ring. And now Chris is trying to get his own attack started with 10 seconds remaining in the first round. Chris comes with his right hand. He's still in the orthodox position. Round has concluded. That was the first round. And this kid Jose got unmatched power. And Chris got to stay away from that left hook. He threw a right hand that missed and then caught a big left hook that sent him to the canvas. And I want to stop right now and wish my guy, Marley Marl, a salute. Thank you for your contribution to the super chat. And Marley Marl says, roll the tape. Woo! And what it is it's the looping left hand. See, it's that looping left hand that Jose landed the first time to knock Chris down. Chris gets back up, and I see what Jose is trying to do. I see exactly what Jose is trying to do. He's trying to set up Chris to land that looping left hand. And now round 2 is underway. And Colbert, he has his stance change back to southpaw. So now both fighters are standing in a southpaw stance, double and triple jabs thrown, and one was landed by Chris Colbert. And you can tell Chris is just trying to get warmed up, as he's using those feints and actually moving his head. And he looks more crisper. He looks more stable in the southpaw stance, and it looked like he got his legs back up under him after that knockdown he suffered in the first round. Jose is, trying to feint, and he's just looping with that left hook that missed wildly. And both of these guys are really trying to apply pressure on each other with 2 minutes remaining in the second round. Triple jabs thrown by Jose, and he missed all of them. Chris just switched back to the orthodox stance, catches a left hook to the body, and then a left hook right to the jaw as his back is towards the ropes again. Chris lands his own 3-punch combination, and he's back in the orthodox stance And I'm gonna tell you something. He needs to move his head, and he's trying to go punch for punch with Jose. And he throws that right, then he throws the left and the right, and he missed. Good left hand straight to the body by Chris. And he's trying to fire off with that right hand. And Jose always steps to the side and then lands a left jab to the body. And these guys are in the middle of the ring. And this is the safest place for Chris Colbert. And he catches a good jab with the right hand by Jose. Jose is doing a wonderful job with his footwork. Every time he lands something, he stepped right to the side to get out of range. And that's good tactical and technical skills that Jose is displaying. And now he's backing Chris Colbert up. Chris throws a double jab. He missed. Right hand lands. But it wasn't flush. It was partially blocked. And I can tell that Chris is building his confidence up. He is throwing the right, then the left. He missed the left, but he did land with the right hand. And both men are in the center of the ring. And this is the safest place for Chris. I'm telling you, being in the center of the ring with 10 seconds remaining in the second round. Right hand partially blocked by Jose. And Chris Colbert looks like he has his legs back up under him, and he's gaining a little bit more confidence as that round progresses. And you know what Chris is going to have to do, ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Road to Take film crew. He's going to have to stay off the ropes. He's going to have to stay off the ropes and be in the center of the ring. And I also believe that he needs to throw his own left hook, but he has to do it in the southpaw stance. Him standing orthodox, I don't think his right hand is powerful enough to keep this young kid Jose off of him. And so he can actually score more punches if he's in the southpaw stance. We shall see. And both men are ready to come out in the third round. And I can tell that Chris Colbert, his body language is telling me that he's building more confidence and he's trying to counter Jose. And he catches Jose with a double right hand, and he's in the orthodox stance again. And I can tell he's laser focused, and both men are in the center of the ring. Chris is kind of backing up Jose just a little bit. Jose lands his own left, but it looked like it was right on the belt, right on the belt line. 3-4 punch combination to the body by Jose. And Chris Colbert is just standing there with both of his hands up as he's holding two cell phones. We call them the earmuff stance in boxing. And he's gotta get that jab flowing. Chris cannot sit there and wait for an opening because he might not find it. Another punch landed, this time under the belt line by Jose. And the referee warns Jose to keep his hands up. Left hook thrown and partially landed by Chris. Double jab. Then a right hand by Chris Colbert. Jose coming up out of that corner. Right hand landed by Jose to the body. Chris lands his own. Looks like it was under the belt line, so that was a low blow warned by the referee. Chris Colbert tripled the jab. Missed two of them and land one. And you can tell that Chris Colbert is gaining confidence as the rounds progress. Big left hand landed. Another big left hand landed by Jose, and then Chris just shakes his head and says no. Big left hook landed by Chris Colbert as he's advancing Jose. Good jab to the body. 1 minute remaining in the third round, and Jose pivots out of there, lands a left hand straight to the body, and then a left hook landed by Jose, flush on the jaw of Chris, and Chris ate it, but he's got his hands up in the corner, and the body shots that Jose is landing is definitely catching the attentions of the judges. I can assure you of that. Ref breaks him up. 30 seconds remaining in the third round. Jose is landing straight jabs to Chris's body, in the middle of his body, just trying to knock the wind out of Chris. And Chris is just angry, got that Brooklyn look on him. Right hook landed by Jose. And Chris Colbert with a big uppercut. Another big uppercut, right hook behind it by Chris. Chris with a double jab. What a good round by both fighters. This round is over, and we have 3 rounds in the bag thus far. I see the viewership increasing exponentially here. This is going to be an intriguing fight. And I'm telling you, what Jose needs to do, he needs to use lateral movement as he's being advanced by Chris Colbert, because he cannot take those 2 steps back, because now he is getting hit with those straight right hands and even a left hook. And a straight left hand on the replay uh, that landed flush by Jose. And then that body shot. And Chris is just being a sitting duck on the ropes. And he has to take this fight back to the center of the ring to score points. Of course, we have 3 rounds already in the bag. And I gave all 3 rounds, including the first round that was a 10-8 scored for the knockdown by Jose. And I gave all 3 rounds by Jose. But right now, Chris is just advancing. Big right hand to the body, then a right jab landed flush by Chris Colbert as he's coming out, keeping this fight in the center of the ring, in the southpaw stance. Like I said before, keeping the fight in the center of the ring in the southpaw stance is Chris's best opportunity to win. He's applying good pressure on Jose. Jose comes with his own jab, left hook to the body by Jose, landed flush. He's landing that jab straight down the middle of the body to Chris. And Chris is backing up again. He's got to keep this fight. There you go, right in the center of the ring, man. Body shot landed by Chris. Left hook landed by Jose. And the look of concern is on the face of Chris Colbert. I don't like his body language. Good uppercut by Jose. Straight left to the body by Jose again. And now Chris Colbert's coming along. He's backing him up. Big right hook landed by Chris. Jose's just jumping on his bicycle, but he's moving laterally as he's backing up. And that's the way that he has to move. And Chris Colbert complains about getting hit with a low blow again, but the referee still lets this fight continue. They're in the center of the ring with 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining in the 4th round. Referee breaks him up. They're still in the middle of the ring. Both men in a southpaw stance. Now Chris Colbert switches his stance back to orthodox. And Jose lands big left hook landed by Chris Colbert. Right hand landed to the body by Chris Colbert. And he's trying to feint and use his technique to get Jose to drop his hands. And Jose smiles as a left hand was thrown by Chris Colbert. Chris Colbert throws a right hand, partially lands. Back in the center of the ring. Right hand lands again, Chris Colbert. Jose dipped the second one. And now the ref has to come in and break these guys up. Man, this is a very competitive 4th round, and I'm starting to give the edge to Chris Colbert, who just switched his stance again for the second time in this round with the southpaw stance, and he threw a left hand and he missed. Big uppercut landed by Jose, and he's going right to the body with combinations to the body and the head with 10 seconds remaining in the 4th round. Big right hand thrown by Jose, but he missed. And those punches to the body that he's trying to land are being blocked by Chris Colbert. And Chris Colbert definitely tried to advance as that round just was concluded. Shout out to everyone that's viewing us right now live and in living color with Manager Marty. I'm excited that you all came out to listen to the commentary that I'm trying the best that I can to put on for all of the viewers that's watching me live and in living color, and even the viewers that will be watching the replay of this live. And I look forward to um, our special guest who's going to be helping me commentate this evening, Crown Jewel Boxing. He was on our panel last night, and I believe he was on our panel 2 weeks ago here live on the channel. Good guy. And so at your leisure, please feel free to subscribe to his channel. We look forward to, him joining us momentarily. But now both guys are in the center of the ring again in the beginning of round number 5. Big right hand landed by Chris Colbert. And both of them are just waiting for the other to throw because they're both at this point waiting to land counter punches. Chris Colbert back into the orthodox stance, but he is in the middle of the ring, and now he's backing up just a tad bit, and he's trying to throw that jab to get that right hand fired off. And both guys are throwing like pity pat shots, but nobody's landing anything right about now. I do believe that Chris Colbert have to stay in that southpaw stance and stay in the middle of the ring to score more points and stop backing up like he just did. He just backed up again and he caught a body shot by Jose. And then Chris landed a jab of his own as he switched back to the southpaw stance, get caught with a left hand that caught his attention. And it looks like Chris Colbert is getting more confident as the rounds go on, but he just got caught with a looping right hand and a body shot by Jose. And Jose is just advancing him, and Chris Colbert is taking 2, 3 steps back, and I don't like him doing that because once you take a second step back, that's the punch that usually knocks you down or even knock you out. He threw a right hand of his own that was blocked by Jose, and he's smiling back in his southpaw stance, and he lands a jab to the body. He throws the left uppercut, misses. Chris, that is, when I say he, Chris, but he's still taking those steps back. He did land a right hand, and then Jose landed his own left hand, but that was partially blocked. Both men are still in the center of the ring. Uppercut landed by Chris Colbert, but he's still taking those small steps back. Just landed a left hook. Chris did just landed a left hook, but he's stepping back, and I'm telling you, when he step back like that, you're going to get caught with a big shot because this young kid Jose looks like he can crack a little bit. Both men just waiting on each other to throw so they can counter. Chris Colbert is pumping that jab out as he's back in that southpaw stance, as I mentioned a few moments ago, with 35 seconds remaining in the 5th round. He gets caught with a jab as he's coming in, Chris, that is. He lands a jab of his own, missed the hook. Jose catches Chris with a body shot. Chris jumps out of the ropes as he should have. Jose is doing really well with his footwork, ladies and gentlemen. He's doing very well pivoting and getting out of the pocket. He's moving his head. 3-punch combination thrown by Chris, but he missed every last one of those punches. Uppercut landed by Jose with 5 seconds remaining. Left hook landed by Chris, but it didn't phase Jose. And this round is over, and we will be entering into the 6th round momentarily. I got this fight 5 rounds to 1. Actually, 4 rounds. 4 rounds to 1 in favor of Jose Valenzuela. There's just showing different clips of Sean Porter and Riddick Big Daddy Bo in the crowd, and Vito, Nicky Jr. in the crowd. And Mateus, he's in the crowd. And, let me remind you all, if you're just joining us, there was a first round knockdown scored by Jose Valenzuela. It was a big left hook that he landed flush on the chin of Chris Colbert, who was dropped. He did get up and beat the count. And ever since then, Chris Colbert's body language is showing me that, and showing the world, showing the fans, showing the judges that he is not quitting mentally in this fight. He comes out in the sixth round, back in an orthodox stance, but he is in the middle of the ring, and a big left hook landed by Jose, and it looked like a headbutt, kind of caused some of the corruption of the left hook. And I say corrupt because it looks like all Chris Colbert is doing is just on the ropes, and he's just putting both hands up, and he's not partially blocking. Big body shot by Jose. I think that left hook hurt him. I think that left hand just hurted Chris Colbert. That's what I mean by the corruption of the left hook. Make you feel like you're just doing something wrong. That's why I say corrupt. The way he hit him. And he's advancing. Jose is advancing Chris, and he's going to the body, and he's mixing those punches up. And Chris Colbert is looked like he's blinking his eye like he was head, but I think he was partially head-butted after that left hook did land. And he's just curling up, and he has no defense, but he keeps rubbing his right eye. Well, actually, excuse me, he's rubbing his left eye. He's rubbing his left eye. Get big uppercut by Jose, and then a big left hook landed by Jose as Chris Colbert is just laying like a sitting duck on the ropes. And it looks like his left eye is partially closing, and he keeps blinking it. I don't know if it was from a punch or a headbutt, but we would see big right hand landed by Jose, and both guys on the center of the ring, but Jose is mixing those punches up, man. He is just taking that left hand and he's stabbing it in the center of the body of Chris Colbert. And Chris Colbert back in the orthodox stance in the middle of the ring. He throws three jabs. One of them did land out of the three. And every time he tries to land that uppercut, Jose's moving and pivoting. Big right and the left hand landed by Jose. Big left hook landed by Jose. Uppercut to the body landed by Jose. And he's throwing two punch combinations to the body and the head. But Chris Colbert is just eating them. But you can tell that Chris Colbert is trying to advance to get his confidence back. Big left hook landed by Jose. They both in the middle of the ring. Big combination landed by Chris Colbert. Three-punch combination that caught the attention of Jose, and now Jose's on the ropes. But he backs out of the ropes and pivots out of there with 5 seconds remaining in the sixth round as Chris Colbert is advancing and trying to land that big right hand, and he couldn't get it off, but he is rubbing his left eye as he's going to the corner. And that was a big round, huge round that is, scored for Jose. It was looked like it was partially a headbutt as they're showing the replay, but then as Chris Colbert is just laying like a sitting duck on the ropes, he's taking body shot after body shot, uppercut. Most of the punches didn't land, but those big ones did land. And all Chris Colbert can do is just put his hands up and block without even trying to hold or get out of the corner. And let's go back and take a look. So it was, now that left hand that Jose threw was a little bit underneath the belt line, and the referee did warn him. Now we have to see if Chris Colbert is mentally prepared to just let it all hang out, because at this point, coming out in round 7, he is going to have to score a knockout. And in my opinion, just by my experience of judging fights, if he want to win, and he's coming out in confidence, in style, tripling that jab. He missed all 3, but he's advancing. Big right hand to the body. 2 jabs landed by Chris Colbert as he's in the southpaw stance, and he's letting his hands go. Left hook landed by Chris Colbert. He's letting his hands go, and Jose is not even firing any punches back. And now Chris Colbert got Jose on the ropes. And he's trying to land some big shots, but now Jose comes back with his 3-punch combination. And Chris is just not letting this kid get off the ropes. He's trying to bully him, and Jose did wind up getting off of the ropes. And Chris Colbert is still advancing. Big right hand to the body landed by Chris, and then the left hand landed. Body punch landed by Jose. Right, and then the left, then the right and the left again landed by Chris Colbert in the center of the ring in the orthodox stance with 1 minute and 45 seconds remaining. Big body shot landed by Chris Colbert. Chris Colbert is showing this young guy that he is not going to lay down for him. And it was a little low blow. Looked like it was a low blow. Landed by Jose. Jose lands a left hand, a left uppercut right in the middle of the ring. Another uppercut lands, and Chris Colbert lands a left hook, a right hand, and then a body shot of his own. And it looks like Chris Colbert is building a lot of confidence. He's definitely doing much, much better, being very productive with letting his hands fly here in the 7th round. And both men are in the center of the ring, in the phone booth, closely as they can to get this fight cracking. Chris Colbert, big right hand to the body, left hook, then a right hand, letting his hands fly, and he's landing flush on Jose. And Jose lands a uppercut, but Chris Colbert looks at him and says, not gonna hurt me tonight. Colbert lands a right hand of his own, then a left hook. Jose didn't back up. Both men just standing in the middle of the ring, in the phone booth, trying to exchange punches, and Chris Colbert is still in that orthodox stance, and he's actually saying something to Jose Valenzuela. 25 seconds remaining in the 7th round. And Chris Colbert is still talking to Jose as Jose is jumping on his bicycle. Now they both stop in the middle of the ring. Chris Colbert advancing. Big right hand lands by Colbert. But he's got jabbed 2 straight times by Jose. And they're just sitting here, just hugging just for a little bit. Chris Colbert let his hands go. And that concludes the 7th round. Man, I tell you, that is the Chris Colbert we need to see. We need to see him let his hands go. And like I said at the beginning of this round, he just got to let it all hang out because he's definitely down on my scorecards. And he did very, very well, landing combinations to the body and to the head. He did very, very well. This was, quite frankly, his best round of the night. Chris Colbert, that is. And he may have taken Jose's best shot. He may have. Because Jose threw the kitchen sink at him several times in this round. And all he did was say, nope, you're not going to hurt me. I'm still going to advance and move forward and attack you and land punches, as he did. Salute to everybody in the chat. I see the viewership increasing exponentially as we're starting the 8th round between Chris Colbert and Jose Valenzuela. And Chris Colbert back in the orthodox stance, and he's letting his hands go, y'all. He is definitely trying to show Jose that he is not going to back down from him. And then the referee admonishes both men as they're back in the center of the ring. Big left hook landed by Jose, and I think that one hurt him. That one hurt Chris Colbert, and Chris Colbert in the corner, and all Jose is doing is mixing those punches up, body and head, and Chris Colbert is just standing there. He's not even blocking, but he did throw one punch back, and he finally comes out of the corner, but I got 6 punches that landed consecutively by Jose that caught him with that big left hook. Colbert is backing up again, taking 2 or 3 steps back on a straight line. He's got to get off of that line, and a good uppercut, then a body shot lands by Jose. And now Chris Colbert, he throws his 2-punch combination. And you can tell that Jose is being very, very patient, trying to land that big looping left hook. It was a looping left hook. And Chris Colbert is wiping his right eye, and I think his right eye is partially closing. But he's still sticking in there in the middle of the ring in the orthodox stance. As I've been saying in the beginning of this fight, he has to get out of the orthodox stance. I keep saying that. And he has to stay in the middle of the ring to get this fight popping so he can land the punches he needs to land against Jose. And he lands a left hook on Jose, backs Jose up just a little bit. And Chris Colbert is starting to advance, but now he's switching his stance back to the southpaw stance in the middle of the ring where he should be. And now both men are just waiting for each other to throw. Jose looking for the counter punch. Chris Colbert lands a right hand. And he's still talking. With 1 minute remaining, Jose throws a right hook, but he missed that one. And both men are just waiting for the counter. And what Chris Colbert is going to have to do is he is going to have to start feinting because the young man got his timing down pat, and he's got to get off the line. He's staying straight on the line. that big left hand did not land. Uh, that Jose just threw, but the jab just landed. Chris threw a right hand of his own. Left hand scores by Jose and a body shot. He's stabbing that body shot. He's stabbing those body shots straight down the middle while Chris Colbert is on the ropes. Chris got to get off the ropes. He's got to get off those ropes. Nice right hand to the body land. The left hook did miss by Chris. He finally comes off the ropes with 10 seconds remaining here in the 8th round. And blood is trickling out of the nose of Jose Valenzuela, as I believe he caught a big right hand, and then Chris Colbert's lip is even bleeding. And that was a really good round by both, but it was that looping left hand, big left hand that landed flush. And when the left hand landed flush, Chris Colbert closed his right eye, wincing. And that's how you know that that was caused by that punch. Salute to everybody in the chat. We're here live and in living color as this fight has taken a storyline of its own. One of the things I don't like when I see fighters in the corner is multiple voices. I don't like when two, three trainers or trainers and a cut man or just two people in the corner talk, because the fighters really need to hear one voice and not two and three voices. And I saw two voices talking to Chris Colbert as he comes out in the 9th round in a southpaw stance, like I've been saying he needed to be in the beginning of this fight. And now Chris Colbert looks like his confidence has built up again, and so now he's letting his hands fly again, and he's pawing that jab out there, but he got to feint. He's got to feint and then throw the right hand. Stay off that line. Big right hand landed by Chris Colbert in the center of the ring. Now he switches from southpaw quickly to the orthodox stance. It looks like Jose is just trying to be patient as he's waiting to counter Chris Colbert. And Chris Colbert is letting his hands fly, but he's not making any contact. He is throwing the jab out there. It's not landing. It's being parried. That right hand to the body landed by Chris Colbert. Then the left hook landed, but he's still in the orthodox stance. And Jose is just being patient. I don't know if he's taking his round off or not, which he can afford to do. And Chris Colbert realizes that he definitely needs a knockout at least to win this fight, at least a knockdown to tighten up the scorecards. Right hand land by Chris Colbert, but he's backing up as Jose is trying to advance. And no fighter in this round landed a punch flush enough that basically caught the other's attention. Now they're just moving around right now, and Chris Colbert back in the center of the ring in the orthodox stance. And Jose, you can tell Jose, just taking his round off, just being patient, waiting for the counter. And you know, they're just sitting there just waiting. Chris Colbert is trying to be active. He is being um aggressive, but he's not effective because he's not landing those punches. And of course, judges look at effective aggression as a part of the scoring criteria. Big headbutt by both guys. It was couldn't tell it was a headbutt, but it was a headbutt. Right hand landed by Jose that caught Chris Colbert's attention. He's backing straight up on the line, and I keep telling him that he shouldn't do that because he's going to get caught with a left hand straight down the middle. And he's trying to use lateral movement and throw his own jab, which he is throwing his jab, but he's not landing flush. He's in the corner now. Oh, big left hand landed by Chris Colbert as he's moving and pivoting off of the line. Right hand lands by Jose. 10 seconds remaining in the 9th round. And the bell is, well, I was about to say about to, but it did ring already. And the nose is profusely bleeding of Jose Valenzuela. And this will be the 10th and final round that both of these competitors will come out in. And it is no secret that Chris Colbert is down significantly on points on this card. But he did, you know, he did have enough confidence to try to push the younger fighter, Jose Valenzuela, back and get his attention. But none of the punches that he landed um, really gave Jose any any result of pain, so to speak. And now both fighters coming out in the 10th and final round. Chris Colbert letting his hands fly. He's still in the orthodox stance, but the good thing about it is he's in the middle of the ring with Jose. And Jose, he has to shorten up the width of his legs. His legs look too wide apart in that stance. And Jose lands a jab to the body of his own. And he lands a jab up top. And Chris Colbert is really trying to wait for the counter punch of Jose. Both men are in the center of the ring. And you can tell that Jose is just being patient. He gets caught with two right hands landed flush by Chris Colbert. He shakes his head no, like you didn't hurt me. Then he lands a right hand of his own. And they're just sitting there waiting to get the counter popping. Right hand counter landed by Jose. Body punch landed straight down the middle by Chris. And yeah, they're trying to feint each other and wait to see which fighter bites. Right hand landed by Chris Colbert. Jose pushes him off. They're in the center of the ring. Chris Colbert in the orthodox stance. 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining of this entire fight. And Jose is advancing Chris Colbert. And Chris Colbert noticed that he was going to be a little bit close to the ropes. And he backs out of there. Good footwork by Jose. Uppercut lands by Jose. Right hand lands by Chris Colbert. Still in the orthodox stance. Both men are in the center of the ring. And Jose tried to land that looping left hook, but it got partially blocked with 1 minute remaining in this fight here in the 10th round. And I see the viewership increasing exponentially. And I appreciate your viewership this evening as there is a fight going on here in the 10th and final round. Big right hand landed by Jose. And he tried to land that big right hook, but he missed. And then Chris Colbert comes with a right hook to the body of his own with 30 seconds remaining in this fight. And now Chris Colbert gets back into the southpaw stance, and he is in the middle of the ring. And this is one of the advice, uh, one of the advice opinions that I gave to him in the beginning of this fight. With 10 seconds remaining in this fight, even though Chris Colbert was knocked down in the first round, oh, he gets caught with a big left hand and a right hand and a left hook, and he start rubbing his eyes, and I think his feet is under him a little bit, but he didn't get dropped. The bell rung, and this fight is over, officially over. And we know unofficially that Jose Valenzuela won this fight. But of course, we have to go to the official word because the judges have to score all of these rounds that, to me, is a little bit obvious of who won. But I just have a question for everybody in the chat, and I also have a question for everybody watching the live of this, watching the replay of this live in the comments section. Officially, if it is announced, as I believe it should be, that Chris Colbert suffers his second loss, where does Chris Colbert go from here? Of course, this is the 135-pound division. Where does he go from here? Anyone in the chat can answer. What do you all think? What's next for Chris? They're just showing the replay of how that left hook landed flush in the first round against Chris Colbert. Somebody in the chat says retirement. Wow. Alex Shield Jones says Wilder curse. I don't understand what Wilder curse actually means. But where does this young fella go from here? He is 26 years old, so he can bounce back and have a resurgence of a career, even though this is his second consecutive loss within a year's time. Where do he go from here? Oh, you said when you insult Wilder, you lose your next fight. LOL. That was by Alex Shield Jones. Oh, I don't know. I didn't know he insulted Wilder. I did not know that. They went to a short commercial break before they uh, have their official particulars read from the judges' scorecards by, I believe that was the classy Jimmy Lennon Jr. Yep, I agree. He is still young, and Jimmy, Jimmy, um, Jimmy is about to read the scorecards, and Chris Colbert got his hands up like he believed he won this fight. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, wow. Chris Colbert wins this fight. Chris Colbert wins this fight, and both of these men are going back and forth. I'm going to tell you like this, ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew. Chris Colbert was the ace side in this fight. And I know he was the ace side because I saw the card. I know who's the ace side in this entire fight and on the entire cards. And I'm not saying the fix is in, but I am saying that this is a suspicious win. And now both of these guys are going back and forth. And Jose is very, very upset. Him and Chris Colbert are going back and forth. And now Sam Watson is there to kind of break it up. Las Vegas security is there to break it up. And Jimmy Lennon Jr. is there to interview Chris Colbert. And I mean, it's a shame because I was sitting here asking all of you all if he loses officially on his scorecards, what's next for him? And wow, I really thought that Chris Colbert lost this fight, y'all. And it was by unanimous decision, too. I mean, I've been judging for USA Boxing for many, many years. I'm trained, I'm certified. I know what judges look for because that's how we're trained. And even the professional judges that you all see perform at big shows, little shows, local events, all of the judges had to come through USA Boxing. So we all have that criteria. And I'm just telling you, I had Chris Colbert losing by unanimous decision in this fight. In fact, I literally just came back to the house from judging about 14 bouts. Was it 13 or 14 bouts in the National Golden Gloves this evening? So I already had my judge's hat on all day today before I got on this live. And I'm telling you, I had Chris Colbert down by a lot of rounds. And not just because he got knocked down. He took some big shots. He was defenseless, and most of the big shots that he took, um, Jose Valenzuela used technical and tactical offense and defense in this fight, and he was very successful. And on top of all of that, Chris Colbert never hurt this young man, not one time, nor did he land anything that made me think that he was going to knock this young man down or even out. Uh, wow, I have Jose Valenzuela definitely winning this fight by landslide, by unanimous decision. Oh wow, that is crazy. Ah man. And also I believe that um Jose landed more shots in general. I mean overall. Not just the power punches. You know, power punches are considered punches that are landed other than jabs. So if you land a jab, they don't consider jabs a power punch. All the other punches that you land that are not jabs are considered power punches. And I think he did well with his jabs and his power punching abilities. I'm even disappointed because I'm telling you all, uh, Jose Valenzuela should have walked away with this win, and now he's suffering from his second loss. And wow, I see the numbers growing exponentially when it comes to the viewership of this live broadcast. Thank you all for your viewership. I look forward to commentating the next fight and the fight after that, which is the main event. But right now, man, I'm actually shocked. I'm not surprised. Nothing in boxing surprises me anymore. But I am shocked. And the judges' scorecards are 95-94 all across the board. Glenn Feldman, Lisa Jampa, and Don Treller. All of them are world-class world championship judges. And they all scored the fight 95-94 for Chris Colbert. Wow. Unbelievable. I will be back momentarily uh, as we get prepared for the second fight, the co-main event. But before I leave, Steve Farhood's unofficial scoring had Valenzuela up 96-93, winning this fight. Isn't that amazing? Testing, testing, one, two. We're here, we're here. Testing, testing, one, two. Just checking the audio, just checking the audio. As Showtime is broadcasting um, a piece on David Benavidez right now. And wow, that was a very horrible decision. And for all three of the judges to have scored at 90. What was the score? 95-94 on all three of their. I mean, like all three of y'all had it 95-94. Wow. Mm, 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 mm. I am a little bit disappointed in that decision. And you know what's interesting about that? Some of you probably remember me using the words that corrupt left hook. Remember I said that when a big left hook was landed by Jose Valenzuela? I kept saying corrupt left hook, and then the judges used that scoring in a very corrupt way, in my personal opinion. Wow. I didn't have it a draw at all, Asante L. I know for a fact that this kid Jose won that fight. They're showing a piece on David Benavidez right now. Oh, salute to my guy. He was on the panel last night. Did a wonderful job. Thank you so much, um, Jeroy. Brother Marty, DC Jeroy here. This is why we're losing boxing fans, scores, and judges just like this. Thank you, DC Jeroy, for your contribution to the channel and your support. And I would have to totally, unfortunately, agree with you. It is totally unfortunate. Salute to everybody in the chat. Um, totally disappointed. Marty OL, thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel. Really, really appreciate you. I mean, this is a crazy, 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 crazy sport. And I'm not here to throw shade on the sport, but at the same time, y'all know me, I don't hold no punches. We got to keep it all the way 100. That was a horrible decision by all three of those judges. Totally. Mm, 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 mm. I'll tell you what, though. Um, they could actually, well, back in the day, I don't know if they still do it, but the camp, the fighter and or his trainer or hers trainer can go and challenge the scorecards to the executive director of the commission of the state where the fight was held in. That's how they used to do it back in the day. But I don't know if they still do that now. But that was a very, very poor decision, in my personal opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew, feel free to contribute to the channel and support the channel. Uh, the location and address of my Cash App is at the bottom of your screen. Feel free to send in super thanks, super chat, super sticker at your leisure. If you want to support the channel and donate and contribute, and I say this in advance, it is much appreciated. Now we have to move on to our next fight, which is the main event between Jesus Ramos and Joey Spencer. And they're coming up pretty soon. And we shall return momentarily as the two fighters will make their way to the ring in this super welterweight 154-pound bout that is scheduled to go 10 rounds or less. We got my guy, Crown Jewel. He is live and living color. He made it with us. Crown Jewel, if you can hear me,
What's
can
good?
you probably can you mute your TV so we won't get these Showtime broadcasts?
Got you, Manager Marty. What's up, man?
Oh man, I'm doing pretty good, man. I don't know if you saw what just happened, but we had some unfavorable judges throughout this live broadcast when Crowley fought in his fight against Ramos. One of the judges scored it a draw, even though he won. And then in the last fight, where we had um, we had Chris Colbert fighting Jose Valenzuela. Jose definitely won that fight, but all three of the judges scored it unanimously for Chris Colbert, even though Chris Colbert got knocked down in the first round and then basically got beat up the rest of the fight.
Well, that means Chris Colbert's looked bad in his last couple fights. He may be
Yeah,
done.
yeah. Well,
I'm
he
looking. My man Allen Huggins is roughing on the night. Guy from here in Lang City. Yeah, but no, I
oh
missed those fights. I went to go cover a live card we had down here in Lang City tonight, so I got a late
okay,
start.
okay, good. Yeah, I was telling the viewers that I had a kind of late start as well because I was at the National Golden Gloves judging.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah,
So I got in from there and I just got on live and just got to work, brother. So we glad to have you.
Shakur's little cousin beat Floyd's kid today.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I think the
Oh.
dude's name Carmel or something, the one they think is the next Tank.
Uh-huh.
He lost to Shakur's cousin today. It was an upset. I think Shakur's cousin only has like 17 fights too.
Oh man, that's how you know it's a good card, man. When there's an upset. So we got Jesus Ramos, who's 19-0, 15 knockouts against Joey Spencer, who's 16-0 and 10, with 10 knockouts. One of the things I let the viewership know before you got on the broadcast is that all four of the fights that was broadcasted on pay-per-view, except for the main event, I think three. I'm sorry, three. Besides the main event, are Orthodox versus Southpaw. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, a lot more southpaws in today's game. Looking at Joey Spencer though, seems like to me he's been around a real long time, but he hasn't really stepped up yet. So I'm glad to see him finally stepping up. It seems tonight.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Somebody asked me in the chat real quick, how many rounds did I give Chris Colbert? I gave him about 2 or 3 rounds in this fight. About 2 or 3 out of 10.
Wow. Well, that's that. We know that's not a good showing. 2 or 3 out of 10,
Oh
especially
yeah.
when he's supposed to be like right beneath those top level guys.
Yeah, I mean, Jose Valenzuela, he showed good technical and tactical um, poise and basically strategy um, on offense and defense. You know,
Wow.
Chris Colbert made a lot of mistakes. He kept taking 2, 3, 4 steps straight back on the line, not moving his head, not using lateral movement, being on the ropes, just basically putting up both his hands in the hold your cell phone. We call it the earmuffs in boxing. You remember
Yeah.
that back in the day.
Yeah.
Uh,
Absolutely.
yeah, and so it was just a crazy thing, man. But we're live and live in color right here with my guy Crown Jewel Boxing. We're opening up in the co-main event. First round underway. Ramos against Joey Spencer. What? I'll let you take over a little bit, man. Let's get
Well,
some conversation out of you, brother.
looks to be some feeling out going on right now. Joey Spencer, trying to figure him out, trying to establish that outside foot. Right now, he's not doing a good job of that. And both guys kind of pawn with their jabs, trying to set up a couple shots. Not a whole lot going on right now. Spencer looks like he's going to be the more aggressive. With Ramos, the taller, rangier fighter, Southpaw looking like he's looking to box behind his jab.
What do you think of Spencer? He's the shorter guy. He looked like he's the smaller guy physically too, but he's pumping that jab out there. He's moving around, lateral movement after he throws those hooks. Man, what do you think about his poise thus far?
He seems to be a lot more active, a lot more willing to engage. Rainbow seems to be a little more tentative, like you said, hide behind that high guard and just pawing with his jab. So far, Spencer's the only one look like he's willing to take a chance and actually throw some shots. Just landed a good left hook right here into the body left hook there.
Good
Yeah, so
combination
yeah,
by
so far,
Spencer.
yeah, he's winning the tactical battle so far. He's showing the textbook skills by keeping his left foot outside of the southpaw's right foot, which keeps him in position to land his shots and away from the southpaw's power shots. And right now, that's the difference. And he just landed a big straight lead right hand, which we both know is, a signature punch to use against the southpaw when you're orthodox.
And I think Ramos needs to get off of the ropes, man. He's just hugging them ropes, and he's got to get off. He's the bigger man. He should be pushing the smaller man Spencer back. Good right hand landed by Ramos, but he still kind of got his back towards the ropes.
Yeah,
Um,
he's allowing Spencer to push him back and keep him on his back foot. Spencer seems to be the stronger fighter at this point. We'll see how that goes as the fight develops.
yeah, one of the things I look at in fighters, especially when one fighter is bigger than the other, is the midsection. And Ramos' midsection was very
Oh,
off.
Spencer just got
Oh,
caught and dropped.
oh, Spencer down. Spencer goes down.
And he
Big
got
left
caught with
hook.
a clean left hand.
Big left hook landed by Ramos with 20 seconds remaining in round number one.
That changes everything. Now Spencer's on his back foot, looking like he's trying to survive. Oh, they're exchanging nice now. He just got caught again. Right
Body
now, it
shot.
just looks like when they exchange, Ramos is hurting Spencer a lot more than Spencer is able to hurt him.
Man, I was just talking. What a good, exciting first round by both guys, man. I was just talking about the midsection of Jesus Ramos. It looked like his midsection is off a little bit. When I say off, you can tell when guys just balloon up in weight and they got to come all the way down, and
Yeah,
his midsection look a little bit off because he
he
is
looks
the
sucked
naturally
in.
bigger. Yeah, it
Yeah, he
looked
looks
sucked in
sucked in.
because he is the naturally bigger guy. It was a big left hook landed by
Yeah,
Ramos.
yeah, short left hand. Turned it right over. That's like a little 6-inch punch. Man, right on the inside. Caught him right on the chin. Well, that's one way to stop a guy's aggression who's pressing you. It'll be interesting to see how they come out for this fight. If Spencer will be as aggressive as he was to start the first round, or if he'll be apprehensive after being dropped.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. And let me let the audience and viewers understand this too. Jesus Ramos is wearing Reyes gloves, which we call in boxing the knockout gloves,
Puncher's
and then
gloves,
the
absolutely.
puncher's gloves, right? And then Spencer's wearing the Everlast gloves.
Yeah, which are more give you ability to block more punches, more padding, and kind of protect guys with more brittle hands.
What do you think of Spencer's body language so far in the second round?
He's definitely showing Ramos a lot more respect, and now his back is on the ropes, and he seems to be in retreat. So I don't know if he's quite cleared the cobwebs all the way out, or he's trying to, establish his oh, he may have got his confidence back. He landed a succession of right hand left hooks there, and he may be slowly but surely getting his confidence back. But he definitely came out a lot more tentative this round than he did in the first.
Big body shot landed by Ramos, and
Yeah,
you can
Ramos
tell.
seems to be placing the shots well.
Yeah, you can tell that Ramos is just a big guy. He's a bigger. This guy's huge, man.
Kind of
He's
reminds me of Antonio Margarito.
Yeah, he can
Kind of
definitely
comes
make
forward.
160. He
Yeah,
can
comes
definitely make
forward that.
160.
Yeah, he's a big kid. Comes forward with that plotting style and just throws them like thudding punches and constant pressure and wears on you. I think that's similar to what we'll see from Benavidez in the next fight.
Yeah, Spencer definitely he has to basically stay off those ropes, man. He has to stay off those ropes and try to back Ramos up and keep this fight in the phone booth.
Unfortunately, though, When he got caught and dropped, that was a short shot on the inside. So he seems to not be getting the better of it on the inside or the outside. So he may be between a rock and a hard place. Ramos is landing some good shots on the inside.
Big shots on the inside by Ramos, and Ramos is starting to let his hands go pretty effectively in this second round, man. Big
Yeah, he
left hand.
combination punching 4 and 5 punches at a time, and Spencer just doesn't seem to have an answer. He's talking now. Telltale sign that he's frustrated.
Big left hand again landed by Ramos, man.
Yeah, he seems to be the bigger, stronger guy and landing the more clean and effective punches right now. Although Spencer is taking his shots a little better now. He seems to be taking them better than he was in the first round after he got clipped.
Yeah, but he is going to have to. Uh, he's going to have to move his head. He just got his head sitting right there as a sitting duck with 5 seconds remaining in this second round.
Absolutely, and he took a succession of punches to end the round. So yeah, you're right. He's going to have to improve on his defense. And like I said, he seems to be between a rock and a hard place because as the shorter guy, he wants to get close, but in close, he's eating uppercuts and hooks at a pretty steady pace. So I don't know, if he has an advantage even on the inside or outside. He may be in a tough spot tonight.
Oh man, and they're showing a replay of a big 3 punch combination that Jesus landed, and those Reyes gloves they come in handy, man.
Yeah, yeah. And all three of those shots landed clean. They weren't no grazing shots. He didn't roll with them or nothing. He caught all three of those shots clean. He's
And as
starting
I
to
was
bruise up too.
Oh yeah, and as I was saying before you came on to the broadcast, that I don't like hearing too many voices in the corner when a fighter needs to hear instruction. And I've already saw Spencer's trainer, I want to say that's his assistant or cutman, giving instructions. The fighter don't need to hear 2 or 3 voices at the same time in the corner, man.
Yeah, there has to be order. There should be one guy speaking at a time. That should be first. It should be your chief second, and then when he gets done, normally he would ask the other guys if they had something to say. But you're right. There should be one voice at a time. You're under the gun. You don't need no confusion in the corner.
Spencer's coming out here looking like he is ready to go bang for bang with this guy Ramos, man.
Well, I think he knows he's got to land something signature to kind of stem the tide because the end of the first round and all of the second round, he was kind of on his heels and taking some heat. And if he doesn't stem the tide soon, he's going to get steamrolled. So I think he realizes he has to set his feet and throw some shots, try to stem the tide now.
I think Ramos landed a body shot that caught the attention of Spencer because he backed up just a tad, but he's backing up now.
He immediately got on his bike. You're right.
And Spencer, man, he got a lot of heart, man. He's coming forward like it ain't about nothing, man.
I just don't know how long he can take these shots again because he's not blocking or slipping anything. He's getting hit with pretty much everything Ramos is throwing at him and taking a lot of big body shots. Good left hand, too. Sheesh.
I mean, Ramos is the bigger guy. I would love to see him fight like guys who are naturally 154. Good combination landed by Ramos, man. He's just tagging Spencer, man.
Yeah, he has that textbook Mexican style, man. Like I said, it reminds me of a young Antonio Margarito where he just walks to you and presses you and over time systematically breaks you down. And if Spencer isn't able to get his attention soon, he's going to be on the wrong side of an all-night beating.
And Ramos is doing a wonderful job mixing up his punches to the body, to the head. Um, you can tell that he's being patient, but he want to get this guy out of there.
Yeah, he's also using angles pretty well, too. He's not just standing in front of Spencer. He's throwing punches and bunches from different angles. I just think Spencer's having a tough time picking up on his rhythm.
Some short shots is killing this young man. The
Yeah,
short shots that he's landing, man.
and I would think in another round or two, you're going to see the toll that those body shots are taking on him because he's banging him consistently downstairs. Whoa, another four punch combination by
Ooh,
has Spencer on a retreat.
good combination. Good combination by Ramos.
Ends it punctuates the round with a big jab at the end. Yeah,
Big.
I think again, if Spencer doesn't land something to hurt Ramos in this next round or two, I think it's going to be a long night for him because Ramos seems to be getting stronger and stronger, and Spencer doesn't seem to have any answers for the onslaught that he's bringing him.
Oh yeah, very.
World champion Zam Judah in the crowd.
Well, you know he's home. The fights in Vegas, and that's where uh, Zab has been residing for many years.
It
And
is Rolly
so,
Romero. I was with Coach Bullet about 30 minutes ago.
yep, there's Rolly. And you see who's there watching? Jamal Charlo. He's there.
And Jamel.
And Jamel.
You got Rolly Romero was great fight for the 140-pound WBA title. I was with his coach, Coach Bullet, about 30 minutes ago at a fight in Atlantic City.
There's Deontay Wilder.
Yes.
And I was just with his coach about 2.5 hours ago, Malik Scott.
There you go. Boxing's a very small world. I'm proud of Malik too, man. I'm proud he got that opportunity to train Deontay.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Philadelphia's own Malik Scott.
Yes, indeed. Fourth round underway. What you see so far here, coach, in the fourth round?
More of the same. It seems like Ramos is coming out, establishing I'm the bigger, stronger guy, trying to push Spencer back. Spencer's trying his best to offer resistance. He's been busy, throwing combination punching early in this round, but it just doesn't seem to have much of an effect on Ramos.
Salute to Anthony Manzano, who says he just subscribed to the channel. Thank you so much, Anthony, for your support and your subscription. And speaking of subscription, while I have a little bit of time, ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew, don't forget at your leisure, please subscribe to my guy, Crown Jewel Boxing. His channel is growing. He has great content. He's here with us live and in living color, providing color commentary here with manager Marty. I look forward to more of him being on our panels. He's been a great inspiration and a great addition to our panels, and he does a good job with providing evaluations and analysis of the sport of boxing. And what do you think so far, Coach Crown Jewel? I mean, this kid's taking a lot of body punches on this ropes, man.
Yeah, yes, he is, man, and he seems to be getting broke down, Marty. And I appreciate all those kind words you just said. And like I said, I always appreciate you extending your platform to me. And y'all need to watch out. Me and manager Marty got something good going on. We about to be the Mike Jordan, Scottie Pippen of this YouTube fighting stuff.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. This kid Spencer got heart, but he's taking too many body punches, head punches. He's taking a beating right now, man.
Yeah, he looks like he's on the verge of being stopped right now. To be honest with you.
And big shot,
Yeah.
big right hand, then the body shot,
Yeah, he's got him pinned to the ropes, and he's just going to work on him.
and you
And it
can
just
see
looks like
that,
Spencer just wants to tie him up. He's not even interested in exchanging at this point.
and you can see the referee, world class Hall of Famer Tony Weeks, he's closing in the distance. And you know what that means? He's ready to stop it at some point. Seeing this young man take this beating.
Yeah, he's taking a good look at Spencer. Spencer's also starting to bruise and swell up around his right eye, starting to show the effects of all those short shots that Ramos been hitting him with. And I think he's starting to see his will is slowly but surely starting to be broken.
Well, that round ends, and man, we're almost pulling up to the main event very, very soon. That round was punctuated by combinations of body and head shots landed by both guys, but more effectively and more consistently by Jesus Ramos, man.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I think, like you said, Coach, I'm starting to agree totally with you, Crown Jewel, that if Spencer don't show any more resilience offensively, to keep Jesus Ramos off of him. You know, if not the corner, definitely the ringside position or the referee might have to stop this fight.
Yeah, I don't think it's quite there yet, but it looks like it's headed that way. Ramos seems to be getting stronger and stronger. Spencer seems to be weakening, and Ramos's attack seems to be, just kind of weakening him more and more every round, and kind of taking his resolve from him. Like you said, as you can see now, Spencer's just on his bike and basically in a defensive posture. He's not really looking to get anything done at this point.
Oh man, I mean, round number 5 out of a scheduled 10 round fight, and we have Joey Spencer trying the best he can to show heart, but Jesus Ramos is the bigger, stronger man, and he is just walking Spencer down. He's using angles, he's landing body punches effectively, head punches effectively. Uh, Spencer's
Beautiful
trying.
counter left hand there.
Oh yeah, big one.
When you see a
Spencer,
guy drop his hands and start to circle and do those kind of crazy things, he's puzzled. He's really looking for something, and this may be like his last hurrah. Like he understands that he kind of everything he's tried hasn't worked, and he's searching for something.
and he's throwing and landing some big shots, but it's not having any effect on Ramos at all.
Nah, he's kind of walking right through his shots, and anytime he gets close, you can see Spencer wants to hold on. He doesn't have a whole lot left.
A minute and a half to go in the 5th round, and Spencer's just on the ropes, man, just pinned to the ropes.
Into the ropes, receiving punishment. And like you said, he's not even returning fire. He's just trying to tie his man up. After they break the clinch, he goes right back into just standing in front of him and staring. He's not doing a whole lot at all. 3 jabs in a row, and he landed all 3 of them. Yeah, it's
Mm.
target practice now.
Oh yeah,
Sheesh.
I think Tony Weeks need to step in and stop this fight.
I'm starting to think this is why they've never stepped Spencer up. As you can remember, at the beginning of the fight, I said he's been around a while and hasn't really stepped up. Well, I think we're starting to see why. He stepped up tonight, and he's being completely outclassed by Ramos.
Sometimes fighters need extra protection, and the referee's job is to protect and preserve the safety of the fighters. And if this kid is not showing any improvement, it's just no point of just standing here watching him take a beating.
You're
It's
right.
just pointless.
I kind of feel like that about the corner because the ref you're going to have to show something dramatic for the ref to stop a fight and not have the boxing public crucify the ref for it. But it's a lot easier for the corner to say, listen, we've lost every round. It's progressively getting worse. We don't have a chance to win this fight. And I'm going to save my fighter from himself and call it. You know what I mean? At this point, I think it will be much easier for his corner to step in and protect him. But a lot of times, they're so emotionally wrapped up in the fight, they don't do it.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And man, I tell you, uh, we're halfway. Well, we're over halfway now. Coming out in this next round, this fight is almost over, even if they don't stop it. And the main event is right after this. And so we look forward to commentating on the main event between David Benavidez and Caleb Plant. Um, that's coming up next. But in this fight right here, Jesus Ramos is just totally dominating Joey Spencer. And it will be a crime if Joey Spencer wins this fight.
I don't see a way that they can try to give him a fight. I haven't given him more. I think he won the first round up until the point where he got knocked down, and at that point he lost it. So I haven't given him a round. I got him down 50 to what is it 44 because of the knockdown. So even though he lost 5 rounds, he's down 6 because of the knockdown.
Yeah, totally agree.
He's got to at least score a knockdown in this fight and win every round just to get a draw. Bleeding from the mouth at this point now too. So his face is really starting to show the wear and tear of the beating he's taking.
Yeah, he is taking a massive punishment, man. Massive.
And it's a shame, like you see these guys with these glossy undefeated records, and when you step them up, you just see there's a clear difference in class.
Big combination by Ramos, man.
I love the
No,
way he fights on the inside for a big guy. Fights really well on the inside for a tall guy.
well, he's in the division where another guy is making noise fighting on the inside, and that is Fundora.
Yeah, Sebastian Fundora is a really good inside fighter for a 6'6" guy too.
Oh yeah.
Ramos turned orthodox momentarily there. I don't know if that's something that he does, switch hitting, but he did for a short period of time there.
He's landing some good combinations on angles and you know, and just Joey Spencer's just standing right in front of him, man. He
Yeah, it
just
kind of looked like Vasily Lomachenko there. Hit him with 3 shots, stepped around him, and hit him with 2 more.
he got heart though, but heart don't win fights, you know.
Nah, heart gets you hurt sometimes.
Oh yeah. Big combination by Ramos. Tony Weeks is letting these guys rumble, man. I mean, like you said, it's not egregious enough for him to step in and stop the fight.
Yeah, he
So
needs something showy. You got to see him get buckled or hurt really bad. It's a one-sided fight, but it hasn't been egregious enough to warrant a stoppage yet. But like you said, if I'm in the corner, I'd be looking out for the safety of my guy, knowing that he lost every round. He's continuing to get beat on. He doesn't show any anything that would indicate that he had a chance to turn it around. I think I would have called it by now if I, myself. Because you don't want to put him in a position where he's permanently damaged and he can't come back from it. He ends the round getting beat up beat into his own corner.
man, what a beating! Ramos just landed a 5-6 punch combination, uh, while Joey Spencer was in his own corner, and you can see Tony Weeks over there. Of course, he is basically asking questions,
He's
and I
basically
think,
probably telling him, "I'm giving you one more round. If you don't show me something, I'm gonna have to step in."
he may have called the ringside position in to take an extra peek at Joey Spencer,
Smart move. Smart move.
and then showing a small little clip of Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia, and so we'll see what the outcome is as both of these fighters are ready to possibly come out for the seventh round.
Yeah, that's the benefit to having an experienced ref like Tony Weeks. He's looking out for the safety of the fighter and wants to, get an opinion from the doctor to make sure he's cool to continue. Because, like you said, he is being dominated. He's taking a lot of punishment. He's bruised up around both eyes, bleeding from the mouth. Although he came out pretty aggressive this round. I mean, this may be his last hurrah. I know I said it a few rounds ago, but he's really trying. I don't know how long he can withstand the onslaught, but he's letting his hands go for now.
Yeah, this is the seventh round out of this 10-round fight with 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. Spencer versus Ramos.
And
And
Farhood has the same scorecard I have. He's given Ramos every round and an extra point for the knockdown in the first. So he's pitching a shutout.
oh yeah, and Spencer, he's talking. He's talking to Ramos. Gets caught with the
Yeah,
right hand.
that's showing his frustration. When he don't have nothing left, nothing else, left, he has to start talking and trying to look proud. He needs to let his fist do some more talking because right now he's being beat from pillar to post.
Big
Big
right
right.
hand landed.
His corner stopped the fight.
That's it. Yup, that was it. We called it. Um, that was it. Corner says no mas.
Yeah, we were just talking maybe 45 seconds ago about the corner, how they should step in and save the fighter, and they finally do.
And so
I'd like
Joey
to see more of that in boxing. I like to see corners protecting their fighter.
Oh, absolutely, man. And
He lived to
you
fight
know,
another day.
live to fight another day. But you know how it is on pay-per-view, Crown Jewel, when fights in the preliminary stages in early, the broadcast likes to draw it all the way out so that the
Oh
fighters
yeah,
still can
we'll watch 20 minutes of promo now.
so the fighters can have more time to just come on out. Hopefully their hands is already wrapped. I'm assuming that their hands is already wrapped. Not saying that their gloves is on yet, but I do assume that their hands is probably already been wrapped in the Colbert towards the end of the Colbert fight. But we shall see. That was a good stoppage by
Yeah,
the
but world
cornerman.
class fighters, you do got to give them a chance to warm up, though. You don't want those guys to have to come out cold.
Yeah, so they always going to let these guys warm up. That was a good stoppage by the coaches, and I'm glad they did that because it was just unnecessary for this kid to take this much punishment unnecessarily.
You're right. He's busted up over and under the right eye, bruised up over the left eye, and bleeding from the mouth. This kid really took a beating in this fight.
He definitely going to have two black eyes in the morning. No question about that.
So, yeah, we pretty much, were spot on. Like I said, we were talking for a couple rounds about it being stopped and alluded to the possibility of the corner stopping the fight the last round, and a half a round later, that's exactly what happened. His trainer climbed up on the apron and let the ref know that he had seen enough.
I would like to see Ramos take on the other, 154 pounders, or if he wants to move up to 160. I just want to see how he fares well with guys his size and, to have
And
his.
Pandora is an exciting fight.
Oh yeah, Pandora. Oh yeah, Fundora will be a big fight for him. That would be a real nice fight. Hey, what do you think about him? This is pay-per-view. You can tell the matchmaker and Tom Brown wants to gain a lot of notoriety for this Ramos guy and give him that
Good.
pay-per-view audience to be exposed to. Do you think that a fight with him and maybe the winner of the Zoo versus Charlo? You think that would be a good matchup?
It would be a good matchup. It would be a good matchup. Or maybe if Zoo doesn't get Charlo, he can fight him in the interim. But I
Oh
do
yeah.
think Jesus Ramos is a good fight for any of those top fighters. He acquitted himself well tonight.
Oh yeah.
And here's
Most
what you're
of
talking about: 20 minutes of advertisement and promotion.
you better know it. And they're talking about how Caleb Plant is a major underdog, in this fight. And both guys looked in tip top shape. I know I said the weights of the fighters yesterday. Did you get a chance to actually see the actual weigh-in and how their bodies look?
My bad, Marty. I had to put my Frenchies away. They got a little overzealous.
Oh, it's all good, man.
Yeah, we sitting here watching boxing, right? And my cousin walks in with some bubble tea. If that ain't an oxymoron. Hey, yeah, but Ramos has shown he's a force to be reckoned with, and like you said, I look forward to seeing him against some of those top guys at the junior middleweight division.
Oh, absolutely, man.
We'll
And
see Sam Watson in the corner, so I guess it's a sure bet that he's an Al Heyman fighter.
oh, absolutely. I think all of the guys on the cards, except well, the ones that had the undercard exposure here on pay-per-view, I think they're all under the PBC banner as Al Heyman managed. I think that David Benavidez is probably the only one.
Yeah, he's with
Um,
Sam Lukowicz.
yeah, he's with my guy. Yeah, he's with my guy Samson Lukowitz, and so I think everybody else is under the PBC banner with Al Heyman, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll tell you, that's an underrated guy in boxing. Until I knew who Samson was, and I met him through my good friend Levander Johnson when he was helping Levander. He got Levander a couple title shots and actually helped him become a world champion at lightweight. But once I realized who Samson was, and I went back and watched fights, 2 out of 3 fights you see on Showtime or back then HBO, you're gonna see Samson in somebody's corner. That guy is everywhere.
Oh yeah, and the thing I like about Samson, he's internationally known. I mean, he got fighters all in other countries that he represents as well.
All those South American fighters that come here, Sergio Martinez, even Manny Pacquiao, Samson brought all those guys to the States.
Yep, he's a good guy too.
Yeah, yeah, he is. He is. Yeah, when Manny first came to the States with Murad Muhammad, he came through Samson Lukowicz, Sergio Martinez as well.
Man, I always try to, help the viewership and the fans of boxing understand it takes a lot of monetary resources to build a fighter up, you know?
Absolutely.
And so when you have a promoter or a manager backing a fighter, um, just know that there's a lot of monetary resources involved to build fighters up, to get them to world championship level. It just takes a lot. It takes a long time to at least recoup your initial investment. I tell you that for sure.
Absolutely. That's why you hear a lot of times when guys talk about guys taking some of fighters' money or complain about the percentages that managers and advisors get sometimes. They neglect to realize that when the fighter had nothing, all the money that was spent to get them where they were going was all spent by the promoters and the managers. And a lot of times they're just recouping what they already spent.
Absolutely. And then when you start talking about, world championship contention, you better hope that your fighter that you invested in wins,
Mhm.
because if he or she doesn't win, it's like they get to to the back of the line, and then you can't even still make a profit.
Yeah,
So
yeah. You get one loss in boxing. That's the only sport where you're basically starting all over.
yeah, I remember a friend of mine told me many years ago. He said, um, one loss in boxing is equivalent to one whole football season.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because boxing, good friend of mine, Virgil Hill, 5-time world champion. He talked to me about his first loss against Tommy Hearns. Now he had Olympic silver medalist, went undefeated. I think his first 25 fights or something, won a world title. And after his first loss to Tommy Hearns, he said people were asking him, was he going to retire? That's how unforgiving boxing is. And I remember him saying to me, "Am I going to retire? Like I'm 25 with one loss. What are you talking about?"
Oh yeah, and back then, for somebody to even say that, it was like, what, retire? Because the greats, they can lose and then come back and fight another great champion. So it's like a loss wasn't nothing for them back in the day. They was
Yeah.
gonna come back and rumble again.
But when you're talking about, casuals and sometimes the media, it can be very unforgiving on boxers. Basketball players, football players, every other sport, you can have a bad day. But if you take a loss as a boxer, I mean, you can go from champ to bum in the eyes of the public overnight.
Yeah, very well said, man. Very well said. We are getting ready and prepared to commentate on our main event between David Benavidez and Caleb Plant. I'm here with a special guest, my guy, Crown Jewel Boxing. He has great content. He's one of the smartest men on YouTube when it comes to this boxing stuff. And let me tell y'all something. He knows about the business of boxing too. And so I ask and encourage everybody, when you get a chance, especially after this live broadcast, please go subscribe to his channel, support his channel. We are all in the boxing community as a one big family. And I'm gonna tell you like this: the man is trying to get his subscribers up. He's trying to get his watch hours up so that his channel can be monetized, because it's well deserved. So feel free to encourage him. Go subscribe to his channel. Watch his content. Get those watch hours up for him, so we all can share in the blessing to benefit from the investments that we make here. Putting content together. Is there's a lot of um, things that we have to do as content creators, and it can be very, very time consuming. And so we spend a lot of money and invest a lot of money just to even do thumbnails, just to do something small as, like you say, microphones and little cameras and our phones and other gadgets and techniques that we use to enhance the audio and video quality of our content. So please go support his channel. Of course, we're about to have 35 different commercials.
Yeah. Again, Manager Marty, I can't thank you enough. And like I said, y'all stay tuned. Crown Jewel Boxing TV and Manager Marty, we're gonna be the Mike Jordan Scott Pippen of this YouTube thing. Just give us a little time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you know, I look forward to more of these live commentaries that you and I can do. And there's some other content creators I would love to join us later on, especially for that Tank versus Ryan Garcia, man.
Yeah, that'll be a big one.
I meant what I said last night to have you here, detailed boxing here, and BVO, the guy who keeps saying that Ryan Garcia is going to knock out Tank. It would be great for all of us to be on the same panel and do some live commentary together for the viewership. You know what I mean?
Well, when it comes to BVO, I gotta quote my guy, old One Tooth, Leon Muhammad, the legend. That BVO, I think when it comes to that fight, he don't know a left hook from a fish hook.
and that is a direct quote from Leon Muhammad. Absolutely.
So BVO, I know you're watching. Boom, boom, boom. Shots fired.
Oh man, all in the sport of love and support for the support of boxing. Man, I cannot wait. This fight coming up. I know you said who you had before in this fight. But let me ask you this question. Since you are experienced and you work corners, what does Caleb Plant have to do to actually win this fight against David Benavidez?
I've said it on a couple occasions, and I'll say it again. If Caleb Plant wants to win this fight, the perfect game plan would be Floyd Mayweather, Diego Chico Corrales. The way he fought Corrales, letting Corrales come forward, stepping around them, catching them coming in with check hooks and lead right hands, using his speed and footwork to continuously make David Benavidez resent himself and hit him with clean shots coming forward and turning him. The thing is, though, I don't know if he'll be able to do that for 12 rounds, as he's had a problem with stamina, and I haven't seen him fight to that high level of concentration and under that type of pressure for an extended period of time. Can he come in better shape tonight and pull it off? That remains to be seen.
Oh yeah, very well said, man. And we shall see. To all of our viewers that are joining us live, I welcome you. To the new audience, I welcome you as well. To those that will be watching the live in a replay form on this channel, I welcome you as well. This is going to be an exciting fight. It's coming up now. We got my guy Crown Jewel Boxing that will be commentating with me live. Caleb Plant, David Benavidez is up next. David Benavidez, as you can see on the bottom of your screen, he has 26 wins. 23 of those 26 wins have come by way of knockout. Caleb Plant is 22 wins, one loss, and of course, 13 of those 22 wins have come by way of knockout. We know that he lost to the great Canelo Alvarez, uh, but he came back and redeemed himself by knocking out um, Anthony Durrell in one punch knockout fashion,
Highlight
where
knockout of the year.
knockout of the year, highlight reel knockout, put him to sleep for a few seconds.
Yeah, yeah. As
And
they show
so,
it across the screen right now.
oh, absolutely. And of course, David Benavidez, he fought Durrell as well. And he TKO'd Durrell. Um, and he basically just walked through all of his opponents, being a bigger, stronger man. Tonight, of course, he will be the bigger, stronger man. Of course, there is no quote unquote rehydration clause. And how do I know that? Because his trainer, Breadman from my city, did an interview that was conducted, I believe, by Fight Hub early in the week, and he actually said that so they are expecting for David Benavidez to come into this fight extremely heavy. Both men made weight successfully. David Benavidez weighed in on the scales last night at 166 pounds. Caleb Plant, he weighed in at 167 pounds. And David Benavidez is making his ring entrance as we speak.
Looks very calm, relaxed, has a smile on his face. He's touching gloves and greeting fans. Seems to be very relaxed in this biggest moment of his career.
Absolutely. Now tell us what David Benavidez would have to do for him to come out victorious tonight.
He's going to have to live up to his name. He needs to be a Mexican monster. He needs to do what he's done to all his previous opponents, come through, throwing volume punches and bunches, applying constant, consistent pressure. And I think after the sixth or seventh round, it'll start to pay dividends, and you'll see Caleb Plant start to break down. There's our guy Samson Lukowicz too, with his signature gold glove chain.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And he always wear that chain. And very good assessment for both fighters. And we shall see because this fight is about to get on the way. But before it get on the way, there's one other man that has to come to the ring. As you can see, that is the son of the great Jose Suleiman, Mauricio Suleiman, who is the top dog of the WBC World Boxing Council.
They always find a way to have themselves associated with a fight, even though the WBC's not on the line, don't they?
Oh yeah. Oh, listen, brother. They got to get a piece of that sanctioning fee.
Yeah, they get a piece of the pie. Find a way to get their 3%.
Sean Porter is in the crowd. You partially saw him. Um, I
World class
will actually.
referee Kenny Bayless is going to be the third man in charge in this fight.
Oh, YSM Sports Media. Salute to him. Shout out to my guy YSM Sports Media. He says this is a WBC final eliminator,
Okay.
and this is where they come into play.
Yeah, that's where they found a way to get their sanctioning fee. Shout out to YSM. Thanks for that information.
Oh yeah. Now Caleb Plant is making his
They seem to have
entrance
much
to the
more
ring.
of a big production with Plant coming out. He's got spotlights and they got a close up. They kind of showed parts of Benavidez's ring walk, but they seem to be doing a much bigger production for Caleb Plant.
Well, that goes to show you, you know,
Who the
who they
house
get,
is, right?
who the A side is.
Yeah, yeah.
And you got to understand this too. You know that Samson is the promoter of David. So, of course, this is a PBC card, Showtime event. So, they got to give it to the A side, and that's Caleb
Yep.
Plant.
Caleb Plant's the house fighter. They let it be known this is our house. You're a guest here. Wipe your feet at the door.
And speaking of that, let me ask you this question. If David Benavidez wins by, let's say, a decision, where he doesn't win by TKO like expected or a knockout, as most people project, will this be a situation where he doesn't get the credit for a win because the expectation is so high for him, in your opinion?
I don't think so. Caleb Plant's a former world champion, a world class fighter. If he manages to stay on his feet for 12 rounds and losing his decision, there's no shame in that for David Benavidez. Either way he wins this fight, it'll be the biggest win of his career, as he's fought nothing close to Caleb Plant to this point.
Oh, yeah, very good assessment. What do you get from the body language of Caleb Plant as he's walking to the ring, man?
A little bit of nervous energy, but he looks pretty relaxed going into this as well. And we know this isn't his first time on the stage. He's fought Canelo, so he's been on an even bigger stage. So he looks pretty relaxed. Looks, I see a little bit of nervous energy, but he looks pretty confident. Most guys look pretty loose going into the ring.
Well, they're showing his wife. Of course, they're going to show her. She works with PBC, so of course the cameras are going to show her, and the camera just briefly showed the guy from my city, his trainer,
Breadman.
Breadman. Breadman.
Breadman's really well spoken. I enjoy the videos when they have him doing fight breakdowns. He's been on YouTube a lot lately, and I always enjoy his content. He's very well spoken.
Absolutely. And there's another guy who's in the corner next to Breadman, and that is the cut man. We all know him as Stitch Duran.
Yeah, Stitch Duran. Stitch Duran is one of the few cut men that command a percentage of your purse as opposed to a flat fee. And a good cut man is worth his weight in gold, so I guess he's worth it. But Stitch Duran wants his money, boy. He takes a percentage.
Well, you know what? I can't blame him. This is business.
Yeah.
And we just spoke Stitch up. He's putting that Vaseline and, you know, all over the face of Caleb Plant. And, the interesting thing about this is that David Benavidez have a reach of 74 and a half. Caleb Plant has a reach of 74. So, both guys have long reach, but they really don't have to expect Caleb Plant to just run and jump on his bicycle the whole time. You know what I mean?
I'm surprised by the tail of the tape I just looked at. I didn't realize that Plant was taller than Benavidez.
Yeah, they just showed his height.
He's an
Uh,
inch taller.
he's an inch taller. He's 1 pound larger in a sense, based on the weigh-in that they took. But I think that David Benavidez is still the naturally bigger man.
Yeah, yeah. I guess just in his build, he looks like a much longer, leaner man. I thought he was more. I thought he was taller than that, but no, he's 6 foot, and Caleb Plant is 6'1".
And the classy Jimmy Lennon Jr. is providing the particulars to announce both fighters as we speak.
It's kind of an odd ring outfit in Caleb Plant. The colors he chose to do as letters. He's got like a tan outfit with green and red letters on the back. Doesn't really flow.
I love the posture of Breadman. He got his arms crossed, still got the book bag on. Usually when the trainers are in the ring, they don't have book bags on. You
He's the
know,
backpack trainer.
he's the backpack trainer. He's just relaxed. Um, Kenny Bayless is in the corner, in the neutral corner, waiting to ref. This is a big fight for both guys, and I don't think it'd be any shame in anyone's game uh, if they lose. Bottom line is, we got three of the top judges: Steve Weisfeld from your state of New
Jersey Dub,
Jersey,
Steve Weisfeld from New
Steve
Jersey.
Steve Weisfeld, Dave Moretti, Tom Cheatham. Uh, Weisfeld is a good guy. Talked to him several times, and matter of fact, him and I was on the phone busting it up not too long ago. Steve Weisfeld is a good guy.
Yeah, it's good to see Jersey boxing being represented on a big stage here tonight.
Man, they got all the heavy hitters in there. Look at Sam Watson just smiling ear to
And
ear.
it's amazing how you see guys in speaking of Sam Watson, how common it is to see guys wearing a suit with sneakers now.
Yeah, yeah. He's one of the guys that does that, man.
Sam Watson, he's a cool dude. I got a cousin named Reggie Woodson from LA. Him and Sam Watson played youth baseball together and grew up together.
Yeah, Sam Watson's a really, really good guy. I bumped into him and his sons at a lot of different events in boxing, and every time I see him, we just hug each other, man. We love talking to each other. Sam Watson's my guy. Got a lot of love and respect for Sam.
Yep, yep. And he's another guy. When you look at these major fights, ever since Al Heyman's been head guy in charge, you see Sam Watson and them twin boys of his everywhere. There almost can't be a big fight in boxing without Sam Watson walking one of the guys into the ring.
Oh yeah, and I talked to Brandon Brandon Watson, and he told me that because I always thought they were twins. Brandon told me that they're not even twins. They're
Yeah,
they're they're 10 months apart. And I was
Yeah,
like, hey, I
twins,
got,
but they look so much apart. I mean, alike. I always call them twins.
yeah, everybody call them the Watson twins. That's their name. And I was like, hey, man, man, my kids are 10 months apart. And we always laughed about that. But those guys are good guys too. Saying Watson's sons, the Watson twins.
For years ago, arguing with my coworkers at the fire department, telling them they're not twins, and they would tell me, "You don't know what you're talking about. They're twins." I'm like, "No, they just call them the Watson twins. They're not actually twins."
Yep. Now they already announced Caleb Plant, and now they are announcing David Benavidez. Plant walked out first, and Benavidez got announced last, which is typical. They're about to get it on. They are in the middle of the ring. This is one of the fights of the year so far.
I think David Benavidez is about a 2.5 to 1 favorite. So Caleb Plant is the underdog here. Both guys in really good shape. Because of the show we had the other night, I think it was overstated how cut up David Benavidez is because he doesn't look that chiseled. So I mean, your boy BVO, I think, kind of overstated the change in his body. He doesn't look that chiseled. But we also see something notable. They refused to touch hands before the fight.
Oh yeah, they really don't like each other for real. And speaking of the chisel, he did rehydrate,
Yeah, yeah.
so that may have took a little bit of the chisel away. Both guys look like they're ready and on their feet,
The
and the
crowd is
judge,
on their feet. Yeah,
the crowd
everybody
is
standing.
actually on their feet. Everybody's standing up in the arena. First round, here we go.
Caleb Plant
Benavidez.
started off coming forward, backing Benavidez up.
Oh yes.
Benavidez looking to box and use his jab.
One of the things that Benavidez have a habit of doing, and he did it just a few seconds ago, is when someone is throwing punches at him, he just steps back and he put his earmuffs up. He put both gloves up to block. You know?
Yeah. Shades of the ring outfit, shades of Floyd Money Mayweather, as one guy has on leather trunks, the other guy has on fur trunks.
Oh yeah. Now, tell me, we're almost 2 minutes remaining in the first round, which means a whole minute has went by. What's your assessment so far in what you see, man?
Well, I'm kind of impressed that Caleb Plant is standing his ground. He isn't on his back foot. He isn't running, and so if he's able to maintain this, all I said about David Benavidez's pressure, uh, wearing him down, may not be the case because he's actually standing his ground and pushing Benavidez back.
Yeah, and I noticed that both guys are trying the best that they can to establish their jab, and they're jabbing on the arms of each other, you know. But they are, whoa, big right hand landed by Benavidez as Plant tried to come through and hold, and Kenny Bayless sternly admonishes Benavidez for that slight push. And both guys are standing in the middle of the rings toe to toe. And Benavidez is just overshooting that right hand. He has to just make sure he established that jab first before he just lunge out with that right hand. See how he's off balance lunging with that right hand, man. He's got to set it up with that jab. Left hook partially blocked by Benavidez.
I'm
And
finding it a little odd that it seems Benavidez is trying to counterpunch and he's allowing Caleb Plant to be first. That's not customary for him. He's usually very busy, but right now he's trying to counter Caleb, and I don't think that will be to his benefit.
yeah, big left. Caleb Plant just snuck a left hand right in the inside on David Benavidez. We got 30 seconds remaining in the first round. Caleb Plant is just, trying to utilize that jab and feint, and he gets caught with a left hook and a right hand to the body by David Benavidez. And you can see David Benavidez is trying to pick up momentum by trying to walk
Good
Caleb
jab.
Plant down. Yeah, good jab.
I have to acknowledge one of our officials from Jersey, my boy Alan Huggins, referee extraordinaire, sitting at ringside. So a lot of the tri-state in the building, a lot of Philly and Jersey in the building tonight.
Absolutely. Then the first round has ended. Uh, who do you have winning that first round?
Um, Nobody landed a whole lot of shots, but on effective aggression, I had to get that first round to Plant. He was
Yeah, I would
able to
have.
come forward and make David Benavidez circle around him, which I didn't expect at all.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. I did give the round for Plant. Excuse me, I gave the round to Plant, but for a totally different reason. I saw him sneak in the jab. I saw him sneak in a right hand, and he looked like he was controlling the real estate. Um, basically
Absolutely.
securing that ring generalship, man.
Absolutely. He stood his ground and made Benavidez circle around him for most of the round anyway. He comes out using his left hand to measure Benavidez, not really jabbing, kind of pawing with his jab.
Yeah, we are round two
Good
of this
combination
fight.
by Plant.
Good combination. And Plant looks like he's standing his ground in the middle of the ring. That might be the safest place for him, Crown Jewel, just being in the center of the ring, man.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely doesn't want to be against the ropes. I seen a different wrinkle too. Plant starting to jab to the body. That's a smart move to use against the taller. Well, not even the taller, but the long seems to be the longer fighter. David Benavidez has a lot of body to punch on. Can help slow up some of that pressure with that jab to the body.
Both men in the middle of the ring. Both men landed a left hook. Left jab landed by Plant.
For the first
And
time, Plant clinches as Benavidez came in.
oh yeah, and he just clinched again. And I think that's what he should do. He should get on the inside, clinch a little bit, so he can get a little bit of air and, take a little bit of breath. Good right hand landed by Benavidez.
Good right hand to the body by Plant.
Left jab lands by Benavidez.
Pretty much going tit for tat right now. Benavidez starting to back Plant up. Just landed a left hook, looked like a little south of the border. Right now, Benavidez is following Plant. That's not a good idea. He needs to learn how to cut off the ring. He seems to be just walking straight to him and following him. I hope he doesn't run into something. He's putting himself in danger of doing that by just walking and following him.
Little under 1 minute remaining in the second round. Left hook to the body, partially landed by Plant. And the fans may not be so annoyed or impatient because they're expecting Caleb Plant to basically walk Caleb. Excuse me, they're expecting David Benavidez to walk Plant down enough to basically take him to deep waters, drown him, and get him out of there. But Plant's doing a good job, and he holds again. 30
He's using
seconds
a
remaining.
very good jab to maintain his distance.
Absolutely. 30 seconds, a little under 30 seconds remaining in the second
Good
round.
three-punch combination by Plant, punctuated with a left hook to the body.
10 seconds remaining in the second round. Another body shot. That jab. Remember, I talked about that on the panel. He's got to stab that jab
That
to the
stab
body.
jab to the body, yeah, you did talk about it, and it's been an effective weapon. There we have Gervonta Tank Davis, who quite possibly can be the face of boxing right now, and it's diamond encrusted jewelry sitting ringside.
Absolutely. 2 rounds is in the books. And
I get that round as well.
yeah, I got Plan up 2-0, and the game plan looks like it's effectively working. The problem that Plant's going to have is if he does not, you know, get his oxygen levels up and deep breaths in between rounds, he might mentally and physically get fatigued later on. So he's got to pace himself, but he's doing pretty good
I don't
thus
know because
far.
right now, Benavidez hasn't been able to put much pressure on him, but it looks like there's a melee or a fight going on in the crowd
Uh,
right now.
Yeah, it look like a fight's going on. Everybody's standing up. Everybody's looking over there. And I do see punches being thrown in the crowd. But Kenny Bayless is not the same referee that was in the Tank versus Hector Garcia fight. He don't care about that. He's refereeing what's inside the ring. And these guys are still getting it on inside the ring. in the beginning of the third round.
But in fairness, the difference between here and the tank fight, the fight or the melee that potentially happened at the tank fight was ringside, and this seems to be a little further away from the ring, so it shouldn't distract the fighters.
Yeah, very good point. You see a left hook was trying to land flush, and it did land flush by David Benavidez, back's playing up just a little bit.
Good up jab by Plant.
I tell you what, both of these guys are trying to throw left hooks, and you know what they say in boxing:
Never hook with a hooker.
can hook with a hooker. And Plant looks like up left hook lands again by Benavidez, and he's getting a little bit too aggressive as Caleb Plant tried to briefly hold as he should have.
He's using feints to perfection right now to keep Benavidez at bay. That was about 3 feints in a row, and it kind of backed Benavidez off without even throwing a punch.
What do you think about the footwork of Caleb Plant thus far?
I think he's using his legs very well, and he's moving just enough. He's not wasting movement, and I think that'll be key in reserving energy. So he's not doing any wasted movement, but he's moving just enough to make Benavidez reset and to keep himself from being pinned against the ropes.
I tell you what that I'm noticing from Caleb Plant. He's overextending that left hook, and he's got to shorten that shot up and throw it when he's a little bit closer in range.
Shot by Plant.
Yeah, he's got to shorten that shot up. Good left hand by Plant. I think that's the one you call. He's got to
Yeah,
shorten that shot up because if he keeps doing that, he'll get countered with a left hook by Benavidez, and I can see that Plant is working hard because he got his mouth open a little bit.
he's working a
And
lot harder. Benavidez has definitely picked the pace up this round.
yeah,
He's finally starting to press Plant, and you're starting to see the pressure get the Plant a little bit.
yeah,
He's
because
going to have to hit Benavidez with something to get some respect.
Plant gets hit with a right hand by Benavidez. 10 seconds remaining in the third round, and I like to see Caleb Plant holding on. I like that.
Floyd Money Mayweather, as Plant blows a kiss to Benavidez before going back to his corner. That chain Floyd has on is ridiculous.
Come on, Floyd. I got love and respect for Floyd, but you ain't had to wear that chain tonight, bro.
That
That
looked
chain.
like a 10-pound chain full of diamonds this man
Come
got.
on, bro. You had to wear that chain tonight, bro. Damn, bro. You home. Like we in Vegas, you home. You had to wear that. You couldn't wear the little chain.
Hey, he got everybody else around him feeling like, you know what, I'm going to just tuck mine in. That man got a jewelry store on his neck. I
All
guess
right.
that's his way of showing everybody he's still the money man.
Yeah, absolutely. So we 3 rounds in. I want Caleb Plant to start doing deep breaths when he get in that corner because I can see his mouth open a little bit. He's working
I,
a little bit hard, man.
I gave Benavidez that round too, so now I got playing up 2 rounds to 1.
I actually gave that round to Plant because he landed more effective punches, but that's why there's 3 judges in boxing.
Yeah,
So I'm glad that we disagreed
yeah. I
somewhat.
just think I just think his pressure started to bother Plant a lot more. He kept playing on the retreat the second half of the round, and I think that was enough to give him the round. Plant going back to that stab to start this round, and it's effective.
Absolutely, he definitely got to do that.
Just backed Benavidez off with a lead right hand and went right back to the stab.
And I can tell both guys are trying to get that left hook out there. And one of them left hooks going to land for one of these guys tonight because they trying to get it out there, both of them.
Plant's boxing pretty effective now. Benavidez starting to look a little desperate in this round.
2 minutes remaining in the fourth round, ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Road to Tape film crew. Plant doing a good job with trying to hold after he throw a punch to neutralize the power of Benavidez.
Yeah, he just not letting Benavidez get going on the inside where he gets to throw those punches and bunches like he normally likes to do. He ties him up and makes him reset, which again, like you said, is to his benefit.
I like what he's doing, and that's one of the things that I actually said. Stab him to the body, hit him with a combination. Just start holding him. Let the
He just
referee
landed
break you
a
guys up.
strong left hook to Benavidez's hip, and those hurt. Call it a hip pointer.
And the referee Kenny Bayless did admonish Plant and tell him to keep his punches up.
And something I never thought I'd see, they just touched gloves and smiled at each other.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I need Caleb Plant to get off the ropes, and he's got to get out of there. There you go. Good footwork by Plant, man. It looks like Caleb Plant's confidence level is building just a little bit.
Yeah, he's having a good round after that last round. I thought Benavidez was able to do some effective work in the last round, but Plant came out with the stab this round, and that completely neutralized Benavidez. He has Benavidez apprehensive about coming in after throwing those body shots to start off the round. There's another one.
Benavidez, oh yeah, Benavidez did land a right hand. I wanted to make sure I
Woo-hoo! Good left hook by Plant. Double left hook inside. Called Benavidez right on the button.
Benavidez tried to land his own left hook as well.
Yeah,
Good
I think
hold by Plant.
Benavidez is respect at this point.
Kenny Bayless is
Ooh,
admonishing.
good jab.
Woo! What a good jab.
Yeah, I think that's a Caleb Plant round. That
Good
definitely that was a
jab
good
again.
bounce back round after. Like I said, I know the third round could have went either way. I gave it to Benavidez, you gave it to Plant, but there's no doubt that fourth round was a Plant round. He came back strong.
Oh, yes, he did. And like you just called that big jab by Plant, it knocked the head back of Benavidez shortly before the round ended.
Yes, double jab. He sunk one downstairs and came with another one up top and landed right on the button.
And then showing a replay of
Replay
the,
there. Boom,
yep,
right on the button.
yeah, replay of the left hook that Benavidez landed right on the temple of Plant. And Plant,
And turned him before Benavidez got the answer. And tied him up when he got close. That was beautiful.
Plant landed a good left hook. Uh, and he landed the combination that he landed on Darrell. The left hook to the body, leave
That
it there
double hook.
for
Yeah.
that double hook, leave it there for 1 second, and then come back upstairs uh, with the left hook. And now this fight is just going by pretty fast. Thus far, we're already in the beginning of the fifth round.
And in my opinion, Benavidez is down pretty big. 4 rounds to 1. No, 3 rounds to 1. This is the fifth round.
3 rounds to run. In your case, 4 rounds to nothing in mine. And Caleb Plant got Benavidez on the ropes, and he's stabbing that right hand to the body, then the left hand to the body, then the left jab, and then Benavidez hitting right in the back of the head as he kind of puts his head in.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
he's
did
trying to throw a
a good
big left
job
hook.
punching him on that solar plexus, and I think that's going to pay dividends as the fight goes on.
And you see Benavidez is stalking Plant now, lands a right hand, and now the
He
Caleb Plant
backed
that
up the fight's plan in. Like I said, Benavidez is beginning to look a bit desperate. I think Plant's movement is bothering him. He hasn't been able to cut off the ring nearly as well as I thought he would.
and now they're both in the middle of the ring, and Caleb Plant says, "Meet me in the middle." Oh, left hook landed by Benavidez.
Good 3-punch combination by Plant.
This is a really intriguing fight thus far.
Benavidez is showing that Caleb Plant leaving his left hand out there measuring him with him is bothering him because he just took a swipe at it.
Way to step back by Benavidez, not letting him hit him.
He looks frustrated though, manager Marty. Benavidez is beginning to look frustrated, although he got some good work done there in the corner before Plant was able to turn him.
Big combination, big left hook, and then a right hand lands by Benavidez. And Caleb Plant does a good job by getting off of the ropes immediately.
And lands a good right hand of his own on the way out.
Caleb
I'm gonna
Plant
tell
makes a
you,
miss.
looking a lot better than I thought. I thought Benavidez was going to walk through him, and that's not clearly has not been the case.
And they're gesturing with each other, playing mind games and joking with each other in the ring.
There's a lot
But
of game shit going on. I love it. I love it. This is high level boxing here.
Benavidez tried to land that left hook and missed. 30 seconds remaining in the fifth round. Caleb Plant versus David Benavidez in the middle of the ring. Caleb Plant needs to stop doing the same thing that Colbert did in the first fight of this broadcast, and that's uh, uh, taking 2 to 3 steps straight back on the line.
No, you definitely don't want to go straight back. But I'll tell you this is another Plant round, in my opinion. And if David Benavidez doesn't do something to change the tide soon, he's going to be under the gun. He's falling very far behind. That's 4-1. I have it now.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that round is in the books officially. Now, if you were training David Benavidez and you were in his corner, what would you be telling your fighter right now under these circumstances, man?
I would tell him to start using this jab. I would tell him to be more aggressive. Stop trying to land the perfect shot. Just go forward and hit Plant anywhere you can hit him. That's not your game. You're not a guy that places pinpoint shots. You're a volume puncher. So I tell him just get busy. Stop waiting and trying to pose and posture with Plant. That's his game. I tell him to muck the fight up and make it a dog fight.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I see Breadman. He's look like he's yelling at Plant. I don't know what he's saying, of course. But before the next round begin, I want to send a shout out to Incel. Thank you for your contribution through the Cash App Incel and your support as always. As round number 6 is starting.
Round 6 starts with Caleb Plant circling and tying Benavidez up when he got close.
David Benavidez is trying the best he can to get Plant off him. He don't want Plant on him. He don't even want to be held at all.
He turned southpaw momentarily, but he's back in the orthodox stance now. That's Benavidez. Good jab.
That stabbing jab to the body by Plant. I told you guys on the panel for 2 weeks straight that if he does that, he'll be successful. There's a big jab landed by Benavidez that knocked the head back of Caleb Plant.
Plant's head right back. Benavidez is missing a lot though. Plant's head movement looks good tonight.
Benavidez landed good body punch to Caleb Plant with under 2 minutes remaining in the 6th round.
Caleb Plant comes back with a combination of his own punctuated by a right hand to the body.
Benavidez is just standing right in front of Caleb Plant. He's not moving his head because he lacks defense, but he's just trying to follow and stalk Plant.
But he's not throwing enough punches to employ that tactic. Like, if he's going to be in front of Plant, he's got to be punching, and he's allowing Plant to get off first. He just throws a left hook from the rafters and misses everything. Yeah, frustration is definitely setting in for Benavidez.
Benavidez throws a right, then a left, and then a right again, but he missed all of those punches. And I believe that Caleb Plant needs to make him miss, but he also has to make him pay.
Absolutely, but the one thing I'm noticing, like I said, I'm seeing desperation in David Benavidez. He looks really frustrated now, and that can wear on you mentally too. I think he knows he has to do something that quick, because if not, again, he's going to be too far behind to turn the tide. And right now, contrary to what I believe going into the fight, he's done nothing to indicate he'd have the ability to stop Caleb Plant.
Body punch landed by Caleb Plant, and he gets caught with a right hand by Benavidez, moves his head as Benavidez tries the jab. He did land the right hand just now, Benavidez did, with under 30 seconds remaining.
Didn't have a whole lot on that right hand, though.
Yeah. Under 30 seconds remaining here in the 6th round.
That's good work by Benavidez there. Plant smart him up.
Benavidez lands a 3-punch combination, and he hits Plant on the back of the head as Plant tried to hold on. And now Benavidez is whispering in the ear of Caleb Plant. And now Kenny Bayless had to get in the middle of these guys, break them up. The round is completed.
And Bayless tells Benavidez to stop talking. But as you said, although Benavidez landed a really good jab that round, I think that's another Caleb Plant round overall. Plant
And
was
this is,
bigger, landed more combination punching.
yeah, they're showing a replay of the punches that Benavidez landed and even missed.
Yeah, the replays were definitely Benavidez friendly, but it doesn't tell the story of the round. As I think Plant landed way more shots that round, and Benavidez did a whole lot of missing in that round. Plant asked the referee to stop Benavidez from using his forearm. We'll see if Kenny Bayless says something about that this round.
Now this is the beginning of the seventh round.
David Benavidez's reactions to Caleb Plant's feints is showing me that he respects Caleb Plant's power because every time Plant feints him, Benavidez backs off.
Kenny Bayless gets right into the middle of both of these fighters.
Good four punch combination by Plant.
Benavidez has to cut the ring off and not follow Caleb Plant. He just can't follow him. He's got to cut this ring off. Left hook thrown by Benavidez,
That
but he
may have got
missed.
his attention.
Got Plant attention. Plant gets hit with a left and then a right, and then look like Caleb Plant. I don't know. Right hand lands by Benavidez.
Yeah, he may have hurt Caleb Plant a little bit there. Plant, he's poised though. Back to measuring with his left hand, using feints effectively. He has yet to let a punch go since that engagement though.
Benavidez is focused,
Good
laser
count
focused.
by Plant.
1 minute and 30 seconds remaining here in the seventh round. Benavidez throws a good jab and lands it flush.
Plant with
Another
the jab to the body. There's the ebbs and flows because Benavidez's pressure looks a lot more effective this round than it did the last couple rounds. All of a sudden, I don't know if Plant has gotten tired or what, but this is definitely a Benavidez round so far.
Benavidez looked like he hurt Plant with a big left hook, big right hand.
Plant answers with a left hand to the body. Said, hold on, I ain't going nowhere yet.
And both of these guys are
Good
landing some
left
good
by
punches.
Plant that backs Benavidez up.
Left jab landed by Plant. 30 seconds remaining in the seventh round. Left
It,
hand lands by Benavidez.
it looks like Plant was able to slow that aggression down a little bit because Benavidez was pressing him a lot at the beginning of the round. I still feel that so far this is a Benavidez round. But Plant was able to get some good work done towards the end of the round.
5 seconds remaining. And both of these guys are being very strategic in their approach. Caleb Plant holds on before the round is over. And that was a very close round. I gave that round to David Benavidez. I think he actually caught the attention of Caleb Plant with that
I
left hook.
definitely a Benavidez round. That's 2 rounds for him now. Although Plant did do some good work in that round too, but overall I thought Benavidez won the round. I don't know. I think Showtime is going against us. When Plant has a good round, they show Benavidez's highlights. Benavidez good round, they show Plant's highlights.
Yeah, I noticed that myself.
Start around 8. I got it 5 rounds to 2. Caleb Plant. This is
Yep.
where Caleb Plant started to tire and wilt against Canelo. We'll see if history repeats itself tonight. Although I don't think Benavidez has done nearly enough work early to put him in a position to fatigue, to be honest with you.
I think Caleb Plant is moving extremely too much compared to how he was fighting in the preliminary stages of this fight. He's doing way too much movement, backing up and moving and lateral movement. And I think he needs to do what he's doing right now, stand in the middle of the ring, not trying to exchange, but just take those half a steps to the side
Plant
because
gets hurt by right hand.
right hand hurt Plant just now.
He's
He
gonna
got
have
hurt.
to stand his ground again. He's
That
got to
right
stand his
hand,
ground.
that right hand hurted
It
Plant.
definitely hurt him. He definitely got hurt with the right hand.
And what happened was Plant had used a a a low blow, and that's what happened to Benavidez getting so angry through that punch. Benavidez come back with his own low blow, and Plant stands his ground. But I'm telling you, these guys are
Big.
really about to start picking it up. I'm sorry, champ, I didn't hear you, Crown. Big right hand by Benavidez.
Oh, he's starting to catch Plant. I did say
He
this was
gets
a
hit with a right hand.
yeah. He started the wilt against Canelo, and he's starting to show that same thing. This he's starting to break down.
I think what he's doing is he's trying to exchange with Benavidez, and that's the issue. Benavidez is the naturally bigger guy, and he needs to get back to his boxing ability and
They got a.
stop trying.
They're going to go check out a cut on Plant.
Yeah, Kenny Bellis just called time, and these guys were kind of roughing each other up, and I think a headbutt may have
Now,
caused.
that was a headbutt that caused that cut as well. Although Benavidez is winning this round too. I hate to say it, but this was the round I said where he started the wilt against Canelo, and he's showing that again tonight. He's going to have to get a second win. And to add to his troubles, he's had blood streaking down the middle of his face now from a cut in between his eyes.
Left hook lands, and then a right hook lands by Benavidez, and David Plant, Caleb Plant, is holding on for dear life
He's got
as
Caleb
he's.
Plant on the bike now.
Yeah, Plant has to stop getting on his bike because he's getting caught with some big shots by Benavidez.
And Benavidez follows Plant to his corner, kind of taunting him after having a big round. I think that's the third round I've given to Benavidez. Plant is going to have to get a second win. He's going to do something to reestablish himself in this fight. He's banked enough rounds, but he doesn't want to get Benavidez too much of a rhythm because if he does, he may not see the final bell.
Oh yeah. Well, he's got a good cut man in his corner, as we talked about earlier in Stitch Duran. But he took a big right hand on the temple from Benavidez, and he tried to hold, but Benavidez kind of like pushed him off of him a little bit. But they got into a wrestling match, and I think in one of those wrestling matches,
There's the headbutt that caused the cut.
yep, I was just about to say that too. In one of those wrestling matches, I think the headbutt, and then they just showed the replay right while I was talking
Yep,
about it.
yep, that was clear. So right after the headbutt, you seen the blood appear. Oh, big low blow by Plant.
Big low blow again, like you said, by Plant, and that started up the ninth round. And you know what? Let me tell you something. I don't think a point's going to be taken away,
No,
but
he told
what?
him that was his last warning though.
Yep. What Plant needs to do is take big, deep breaths in this short period of time. Kenny Bayless calls time back in after the low blow.
I think that low blow was out of frustration. I think he was desperately trying to slow Benavidez down, and it may have worked. He's back to stabbing the body.
Left hook, left hook landed by Benavidez. And on Steve Farhood's unofficial scorecard, he has this fight tie 76-76, giving the last 3 rounds to Benavidez.
I have to disagree with him, but it is tightening up. It's becoming closer, that's for sure.
And Plant lands a 3-punch combination by throwing 4 punches, but I think 3 of them landed. And he's getting a hold again with 2 minutes remaining here in the 9th round. And I think he needs to just continue doing what he's doing and not move too much because Benavidez, like he's doing now, he's landing 2 big left hooks by Benavidez,
Yeah.
following and stalking Plant.
He was looking a little fresher for the first minute and a half, but
Big
Benavidez
left hand landed.
to him again.
Big left hand, and then a right hand landed by Benavidez as Caleb Plant is trying to hold Benavidez, but Benavidez is catching him with short shots.
Good jab by Plant. Benavidez lands quite a few punches while Plant lands quite a few punches while Benavidez decides to show how tough he is by standing there and taking them. I don't really understand that.
Caleb Plant's doing a wonderful job by holding. I told everybody in the panel for 2 weeks that's what he's going to have to do when he get on the inside. Just hold him a little bit. Left hook lands by Benavidez. Left hook lands by Plant, but the right hand counter comes by Benavidez. And Plant is bleeding profusely.
Yeah,
He's
that's
going to need.
a bad cut.
Yeah, it's a real bad cut. He's going to need Stitch Duran to get on his job because right now he just took a big body shot and a left hook and then another left hook by Benavidez. Kenny Bayless breaks him up with 30 seconds remaining here in the 9th round. And it looks like Caleb Plant is physically fading slowly by slowly. If you think that Caleb Plant has more energy, he doesn't. But what you think so far with 10 seconds remaining in the 9th
I
round?
think he looked fresh again, like he caught a second wind the first half of the round. But I think David Benavidez was able to put him on the back foot in the second half of the round, and the pressure started to get to him again. I think Plant is going to have to stand his ground a little bit and reestablish himself.
That was a good round for Plant, but I kind of gave that round to David Benavidez.
Yeah, he seems to have the momentum in the fight right now.
And now Breadman is talking to Caleb Plant while Stitch Duran is working on that cut. And we don't know how the cut came. And it looks like it was a left hook from Benavidez that caused that cut because in the replay, after he landed that shot, blood started trickling down after that big right hand was landed.
Yeah, he has 2 cuts to deal with now. Well, they do butt heads there, too.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Blatant low blow by Plant. They show the replay.
Well, I tell you what, if this fight go to the scorecards, it is going to be extremely close.
Yeah, Benavidez has definitely tightened it up. I got a Plant having a big early lead, though, so he had a little bit of a cushion, but he is going to have to win another round or 2 to secure the fight.
We are now in the 10th round. Both guys head butted each other by an accident. Kenny Bayless breaks them apart.
Rounds, it seems like Benavidez has got all the momentum. Although I disagree with Farhood's card. He's given Benavidez a lot more rounds than I have.
Yeah, Benavidez is hitting Caleb Plant behind the head twice. Big left hand landed by Benavidez. Backs Caleb Plant up.
He's got Caleb Plant just trying to hold on. Look like he's starting to break his will.
Yeah, Benavidez is landing a big uppercut, and he lands 3 consecutive left hooks and then a right hand to the body because Plant is just trying to hold on for dear life.
Yeah, he's got to fight fire with fire. He's got to fight back. He's got to throw some punches.
He's trying to hold on, and that's not working. And we see a little bit of what Plant usually does when he's, getting hit, and that is going to the ropes and just standing there. And he can't do that against a big puncher like Benavidez. Big right hand lands by Benavidez. Uppercut lands by Benavidez. And then Plant try to throw his own. Every time Plant holds one hand, Benavidez
Big left
lands an
hook
upper.
by Benavidez.
Huh?
Big left hook and right hand by Benavidez. Plant just
And
trying to smother him. Plant throws another low blow.
Plant took 3 big left hooks by Benavidez while Benavidez was actually on the ropes.
Plant looks like he's finished.
Big left hook to the body by David Benavidez. Benavidez lands another hook to the body, then a right hand that
He's
catches Plant's
punishing
attention.
Plant now, and Plant can't keep up with the work rate.
Plant is standing his ground, but he looked like he got a black eye, and he still got that blood dripping down his face.
He's hurting Plant to the body bad this round.
That was a big right hand to the body by Benavidez. Left hook to the body, right hand, and now Benavidez is just teeing off on Plant because he's standing right in front of him with his head
And
basically
not punching.
and not punching back. And it looks like Plant. I'm gonna tell you something. I look like Plant don't have a lot of his legs there.
I don't like he has anything left, to be honest with you. He's not even strong enough to tie Benavidez up at this point. Every time he tries to tie Benavidez up, Benavidez just shrugs him off. Yeah, this fight has changed tremendously in the last couple rounds. Caleb Plant may struggle to finish the fight the way it's looking right now. We only got 2 rounds left. We're in these championship rounds, but David Benavidez has finally turned into that monster that I predicted he would be early on. Caleb Plant fought a lot better than I thought he would fight early on, but the nightmare has come true. He's under a lot of heat right now.
Yeah, David Benavidez need to take deep breaths in that corner. And it looks like Stitch Duran is having a hard time, getting that cut to stop bleeding because when you get cut in the middle of the forehead, it's very hard to stop that cut from bleeding. And David
Not to
Benavidez,
mention, not doing a good job at protecting it. He's getting hit on it a lot. They're grappling on the inside. Benavidez is rubbing up against the cut with the inside of his glove. It's kind of hard to stop it from bleeding with all that going on.
and now the championship rounds begin. Round number 11.
We'll see what Caleb Plant is made of here. He's going to have to dig deep and come up with something to win at least one of these last 2 rounds. It don't look like he has much more to throw 2 punches and hold on.
Hey, I think he better do that. 2 punches and hold on. But that right hand looked like it caught Plant's attention.
Every time Benavidez hits him now, he moves him backwards. And when he hits Benavidez, it doesn't seem to have an effect. He got away from the stab to the body, and that was working very well for him earlier. Also, he was feinting earlier, and he's no longer doing that.
Yeah.
I think he kind of lost his way, and he's looking like he's about to get stopped. As you see, Gervonta Davis rise
Big
to
left
his feet.
hook by Benavidez.
Yeah, Plant looks like he's about to get stopped.
Now Benavidez is stalking Plant by going to the body. He's just punching that will at this point. And Plant is trying to hold on, but Benavidez keeps catching him on the break every time he put his head in his chest.
The last couple rounds has been a brutal body attack. I don't think Plant's going to be getting out of bed tomorrow.
And what Plant needs to do is get back to his feints, get back to his jabs, the things that
feints
made
and a stab to the body. He went away from it, fan for it.
Yeah, he's gotten away from the game plan.
Another big right hand,
big left hand by Plant. By Benavidez.
What we talked about before the fight, he just doesn't have the stamina to stick, to what he was doing. He can't do it all night. He can only do it for a short period of time.
3 punches, 4 punches, 4 punches landed consecutively by Benavidez. Big left hook lands by Benavidez.
Yeah, Plant doesn't have a whole lot left.
I didn't mean to cut you
up for Benavidez's shots at this point.
He's standing straight
All
up.
he's trying to do is trying to smother Benavidez, and it's not working. He's gonna have to fight fire with fire. He's got to offer something back, but I don't think he has it in the tank.
Benavidez is catching him with shot after shot on the inside, and with 20 seconds remaining, Plant is standing his ground, but he's getting punched with too
Big
many
shot
early
hit
shots.
by Benavidez right there. It looked pretty hurt, pretty painful. Ooh, big right hand by Benavidez pushes Plant back.
Big right hand again. Another big right hand again. Left hand lands by Benavidez. And this round is over. And
Going
they're
into the last round, Benavidez is definitely the fresher guy, and Caleb Plant's going to do a good job to just finish this round on his feet because he's taking a lot of punishment. Breadman needs to get that ice on Plant. He's standing there with an ice bag in his hand, but needs to get that on Plant. Try to cool his man off. Try to bring him back. He needs some rejuvenation.
I
He
don't know
finally
what bread
ice on his head,
I don't know what Breadman is doing with the ice. He got his hand on the ice and he
but he's not
finally,
touching Plant with it. I don't get it.
yeah, he took too long to touch Plant with it, and he still didn't touch Plant with the ice. He needs to get the ice on the back of the neck of Plant, in my personal opinion. He's talking, but he got the ice bag in his hand. He's never touched Plant yet, nor did
Yeah,
Plant get a drink of water.
yeah, I don't know. He seemed to be a little flustered that round.
And now Benavidez is coming out early in the round, and he looks like he's more juvenated uh, and hydrated.
Yeah, he
And
definitely
now,
was more enthusiastic about coming out for this last round than Plant was.
and I think Benavidez will be going for the knockout here in the 12th round.
Oh, he definitely ain't gonna show no mercy. That's for sure.
Caleb Plant is getting back to the jab, but he's still stepping back a little bit too much for my liking.
Good combination by Plant. Where was this the last two rounds?
Body shot by Plant.
Benavidez, Plant eats a big left hook from Benavidez.
Yeah, he did, and he and he threw his own left hook, and he's throwing another left hook. But Benavidez comes out with a big uppercut.
Plant is more consumed with complaining to the ref than fighting back. And this is it. This is the last 2 minutes. He loses this fight. This may be the end of him competing on that world class level in the super middleweight division. He needs to fight like his career depends on this.
And I think the way he's came out in this round, where he stood his ground, he's going to have to do that. He's backing up, and I don't think the judges are going to give him the round if he continues to back up, because it'll look like David Benavidez has the momentum. David Benavidez hit him with a right hand, but it was partially behind the left hand, by the
He's
head.
got a
Excuse me.
minute and 30 seconds left, and he needs to fight for this whole minute and 30 seconds. He gets clipped by a right hand, and he's back on his bike. Yeah, at this point, it just looks like David Benavidez too young, too fresh, too much for Caleb Plant.
Well, we have to put this in perspective too. The reason why he's fresher is because he didn't do more work than Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant had to
Yeah,
work hard all 12 rounds.
yeah, and not to mention those middle rounds when he invested a lot of work in the body. When Benavidez started to come on, he did a lot of damage downstairs, and I think the body work is paying dividends now.
Oh yeah, big combination by Benavidez hits Caleb Plant with a right hand. Another right hand uppercut lands by Benavidez. Caleb Plant backs up, but he has to start throwing punches if he want to make an impression on these judges. With 30 seconds remaining in the 12th round of this fight. Combination lands by Caleb Plant. Will it be enough? Caleb Plant is standing his ground and he's walking
Lands a big right,
towards.
pushes Benavidez back.
He's landing. He's walking towards Benavidez,
Maybe
letting
too
his
little,
hands
too
go.
late.
Both guys lands a left hook. Benavidez lands another left hook. This fight is over.
Damn brace and show respect at the end. I think Benavidez was able to turn it around after losing the first 4 rounds. I got Benavidez winning the fight by 1 point.
I want to say something, man. I want to say something right now to the fans, viewers, and supporters of boxing. Caleb Plant stood up to the assault of David Benavidez, and he
He did.
should deserve credit.
He showed a lot of heart. I thought he was a quitter. He showed this fight he was not a quitter. I didn't see any of that quit that I saw against Canelo tonight. He weathered the storm, that's for sure. If nothing else, he withstood the storm.
And I believe that win, lose, or draw, Caleb Plant should get more respect. You know how in boxing, even if you lose a fight, you win some fans.
Yeah, you can kind of, your stock can go up even in a loss when you outperform the expectations of the naysayers. And that may be the case tonight.
And we've seen that happen with Isak Cruz. Very clear example.
Absolutely. He became a superstar in the loss to Tank.
Well, I tell you what, you know this as much as I know it, and so does the viewers. Anytime the judges take this long to get the scorecards tallied up and calculated, you know there's something controversial with them.
It sure can be.
Man, this
Look
was a
at their face, though. David Benavidez has the face of a winner. Caleb Plant looks beat up.
yeah, this was a very, very, very close fight, man. I Let me ask you this question: if one of the judges scored it a draw, would you be satisfied or dissatisfied?
I would be fine with a draw because Caleb Plant did bank a lot of early rounds, and even a couple of rounds that I gave to Benavidez could have went either way. So I wouldn't have a problem with a draw. I think Benavidez started a little too late. Caleb Plant probably should have been a little more active late. I don't think either guy could complain about a draw.
I'll ask you this question: what about a rematch? Will you like to see a rematch?
I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch, but I think it'll be worse for Plant in the rematch. I think Benavidez kind of figured him out in the second half of the fight. And Plant being an older fighter, Benavidez being a younger, fresher fighter, it may only be worse next time for Plant.
Well, they got the scorecards in.
Benavidez the winner. Caleb Plant, nothing to hang his head about. He fought like a true warrior tonight. Benavidez was just a better man.
That was a very
There's
intriguing
sure
fight.
respect between the two men. All the bad blood is gone. It was settled like men in the ring.
That was that was a good fight, even if there is no rematch. That was a
Absolutely, very
good
good
fight.
fight. Very good fight. I will say this: Caleb Plant showed more than I thought because I thought he would get stopped somewhere between the eighth and 10th round. I thought he would quit, as I thought he quit um, against Canelo. But no, he showed some dog tonight. He uh, he faced that Mexican monster in the storm that he brought in those late rounds, and he was able to weather the storm and finish the fight with his head held high on his feet as he reached the final bell in a very competitive fight.
Yeah, I think that he should win more respect and even win more fans. I do not think his career should be over because, in boxing, when you lose to a great fighter, it's okay to lose to great fighters. You know what I mean?
It is. I just don't know where he goes from here at that top level. I don't think he's done by far, but I'm just speaking of at that top level. He's lost to Benavidez, he's lost to Canelo, and the middleweight Charlo may soon be moving because he asked for the winner to super middleweight. I just think there's going to be 5 or 6 guys at the top that are going to give Plant a headache. So I don't know where he goes from here, unless maybe he moves up to 175 and tries his hand up there.
Well, with his stamina issues, I don't want him to move up and wait because you go up there and gas out with those big punchers, you might get stopped pretty early.
Yeah, with Bivol and Better BF, there's not much room for him there too. So that's why I'm saying I really don't know where he goes now. Still a serviceable fighter, but I hate to see a guy that's had a great career and become a world champion go out as an opponent for younger guys, and that tends to happen to guys like him after they start. He's already lost to a younger guy tonight. Like I said, he lost to Canelo a couple fights ago, and we got Charlo asking for the winner. I mean, I just don't see any of those elite guys that he can beat at this point.
I want to say this, and I know that most fans might not understand this, but usually after fighters compete, they usually want the gloves off of their hands. Caleb Plant He's been in this fight all 12 rounds. He still have his gloves on his hands. Nobody didn't cut the tape off and get those gloves off his hands yet.
The one time I can say where a fighter may not want his gloves off if he injures his hand, because it's very painful to take them off if you have a hand injury, and he may not want to do that till he gets back in the dressing room if that's the case. That, and I will say from experience, when your fighter loses, it kind of throws a lot of things out of whack in the corner. I mean, my last fight that I lost, my trainer ended up losing my whole ring outfit somewhere between the arena and getting back to the hotel. So, you know what I mean? Things are kind of out of whack when you lose sometimes.
Yeah, very good point. Very good point. Um, this was a good fight, man. Overall, I think we got our money's worth this evening.
Absolutely, very good fight. It was worth the $75. I can't complain.
And I believe that because it is a pay-per-view, Caleb Plant deserved an interview, and Jim Gray is giving him one right now. Can't hear what
Absolutely.
they're saying, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
he definitely is. His face definitely lumped up. You know,
Oh yeah, yeah, he's worse for wear. And I mean, some of that wasn't done by punching though, because David Benavidez was using his forearms and the inside of his gloves to push him off when he was clinching. So but his ears are swelled up, and that definitely came from punching. So yeah, he's definitely worse for wear after that fight. Again, nothing to hang his head about though. He asserted himself pretty well. Gave a good representation of himself against a young lion tonight.
and stood up to him, stood up to the monster.
Absolutely, he did. Absolutely, he did. And like I said, I was wrong. I predicted he'd be stopped. I mean, the fight towards the end went how I predicted it would go, but I didn't think he'd be able to finish the fight on his feet, but he did. And Samson Lukowicz, once again, what a young killer in the game.
Man, this was a great broadcast, and man, this was. I'll tell you something, man. This fight and the way that these guys respected each other
Yeah,
after
they
this
hug
fight.
again, all respect. They posing for pictures together now and everything, and that's the way it's supposed to be. You can tear each other down and talk trash in the build up, but once it's settled in the ring, it's mutual respect. Good luck with the rest of your career. You know what I mean? I'm glad to see both fighters go back to their family safely.
Oh yeah, and also because these guys took care of business in the ring as men, and when they get out of the ring, they can respect each other even more before they got in the ring. We will hope to see
Ooh,
Ryan
the judges
Garcia.
have wide scorecards. I really don't agree with those, but
Oh yeah, we can expect Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis hopefully to do the same thing after their fight.
absolutely.
I
Well, Ryan has already said he want. He asked Tank. They both said he asked Tank, "Can we be friends after the fight?" And he said Tank was weird because Tank wouldn't answer him. But yeah, I doubt that there will be any bad blood after the fight. You know what I mean? If nothing else, both guys just made a whole bunch of money together. There's no reason to be mad.
right. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, man. I know Steve Farhood had the last 6 rounds scored for Benavidez. His scorecards unofficially said 116, 112. The judges' scorecards that was there 116, 112. Steve Weisfield 117, 111. No disrespect to all of the official and unofficial scorecards, but what fight were they watching? I did
I
not
have
have
no
this a
clue because
shutout. I didn't have the shutout at all.
yeah, you can't tell me David Benavidez won by 6 rounds. Like that's you're telling me that he won 8 rounds or what is it, 9 rounds to three? You're saying that Caleb Plant only won 3 rounds? Weisfeld only gave Plant 3 rounds. That's terrible.
You know what? The judging was off
But they
all
got
night
the
long.
right winner. Yeah,
They did choose the right winner in this fight, but the judging was off all night. All the fights that was on this broadcast live.
yeah,
Wow, that's hey, things happen, man.
yeah, yeah.
But you know what? I won't hold you long. I won't hold the audience any more longer. Um, Once again, you guys and ladies, if you're watching us live and you're watching the broadcast of this live, we have my guy here as a special guest, Crown Jewel Boxing. I appreciate him for coming in. commentating. He did a wonderful job this evening. Please feel free to subscribe to his channel. Please support his channel by viewing his content. Um, Come back and see me on Tuesday evening for the live broadcast here on the Roller Tape Show. This was a great fight this evening. I believe the fans got all of our money's worth and all of the four fights here on pay-per-view and the respect level for both guys after the fight. Uh, Give us your last words, Crown Jewel, before we hang it up.
I echo your words. This was our first time calling a fight together. I thought we did a good job. If I do say so myself, I appreciate you extending your platform to me once again, and we're only going to get better. So I encourage everybody out there, continue to check out Manager Marty. If you get a chance, stop by my page, Crown Jewel Boxing TV, as we're going to give you an informed opinion on the business of boxing, and we look forward to bringing you our talents in the future. Again, thanks, Manager Marty. You have a great night, man.
You do the same. Thank you, champ. And ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll to Tape film crew, thank you for your viewership. Thank you for your engagement in the chat, even in the comments section below. And thank you for the contributions that everyone donated to support this channel. Much love and respect for all of you. Don't forget, we all have one thing in common, even if we disagree, and that is the love of the sport of boxing. I'm Manager Marty. Till next time, I'll check you all out on Tuesday evening, live in living color, right back here.